celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. So I think maybe in the higher elevations you might be getting a little bit of slipperiness out there, Jeff. Other than that, it's kind of like a misty something or other at 30 degrees here this morning.
Yeah, so I'll squeeze this in now. I was going to save this for later, but I had to take my dog to the vet yesterday, and I go to the Waterville vet. So I got a 5:30 appointment. It's like 4:45. I know what my driveway looks like, but I'm not really realizing, what's going on.
It came down pretty quick.
It did.
Yeah.
So I get in the car, warming up the car, and the windshield's frozen over. So I scrape off the windshield, and I'm backing out of the driveway. And I'm telling you, it's this misting. It was like misting rain, but it was almost instantly freezing.
Yeah.
So by the time I back out of the driveway and I get down the road, I had to pull over again because the heat in the vehicle wasn't warmed up, so I couldn't just blast it with heat to melt it. So I had to pull off the road right after I left my house to scrape off ice again. Now, fortunately, the commute to Waterville wasn't bad at all, and the roads were actually in pretty good condition. But do I have a story for you?
Oh, what happened?
Jeez. My Shay. So Shay had a routine appointment.
Shay, for those who don't know, is your girlfriend.
It's not my girlfriend.
I'm kidding.
Shay's my dog.
That's right.
And
Shay is the dog.
Shay is the dog. She's great. She's great. But she has some issues, and one of them is, I don't know, I was talking to the vet about this yesterday. She was telling me, well, maybe it's not true incontinence because what you're describing isn't really incontinence. And she goes, I don't want to get into this too much, but if you came over to my house, my dog thinks everyone comes over there to feed her treats. She thinks that's the reason for the stop.
Yes.
Not for a Christmas family gathering. She thinks, they came to bring me treats.
Yes, yeah.
So she gets really excited. Her tail starts wagging, and she squats down and goes to the bathroom.
Excitatory urination.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
when we looked at our home, the dog, the owner was there when we were looking at the house, which is uncommon. And their dog had the same thing. Don't get near the dog. The dog will get excited and urinate on your feet.
Yeah.
And sure enough.
That's my Shay.
Yeah.
So before I even got to the conversation with the vet, I pull in, and as this happens here sometimes as well. Yesterday I left the house in a hurry. I was running a little behind, left the laptop on the table. I'm trying to, I don't want to get stuck up in the weather. I don't want to be late for this appointment because then you get a fee, you get charged. So I leave my phone. So when you pull in there, on all the parking spots, there's a sign that says, call this number, check in, let us know you're here, because obviously they don't want 10 dogs walking in all at once,
right?
Because then what happens, right? Okay. So I'm pull in, and I'm like, where's my phone? I don't know where my phone is. Oh, I must have left my phone. It's happened before, no big deal. Okay, I left my phone. So I walk in there. Hey, Manaski, here with Shay, just checking in for my appointment. I apologize. I left my phone. I couldn't call from outside. Okay, we got you. We'll come out and get you when you're ready. Okay. I walk out.
They do it just like during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I walk back to my vehicle, and I'm about 5-6 feet away, and I hear, I can't duplicate the noise, burp, burp, which is, it obviously it makes a bit of a different sound. That was a terrible impression, but it made the sound that it makes when you double-click the lock button on your door and lock your vehicle.
And Shay's like, come on, Dad, get in.
My keys are in my center console.
The dog locked.
Shay's going back and forth. Where are we? What are we doing? Where
Yeah,
are we?
yeah,
What are we
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
She's going back and forth between the seats. She stepped in the cup holder and locked me out of the vehicle.
You need a handler, dude.
I'm
Well,
like,
first of all, you shouldn't leave your keys in your car. Like, it's an ever thing.
yeah.
I put them in my pocket,
Yeah.
in your pants pocket.
It was just if
Well,
I
just worrying about somebody stealing the vehicle.
absolutely, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've had it with this vehicle now too. If somebody wants to come take it, I'll leave the car. Just get out of here.
I'll hang
before
him on
9.
the door handle.
So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm looking in the vehicle and I can see her leg, her hind leg is still in the cup holder thing.
Well, maybe she'll step on it and unlock it.
So I'm doing this thing. The woman parked 2 spots over from me. I think thought I was either trying to break into the vehicle or thought I had lost my mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking around the vehicle.
And most cars today, the newer vehicles will not lock the door with the key inside. With the key fob inside, it will not lock the door. This vehicle, not the case. Apparently.
Well, I swear I thought that was the case because I've tried this before. For instance, I'll run into a gas station sometime. My son's 10 years old now, right? It's not like he's in a baby seat, right? So I'll be like, Carter, here's my keys. When I hop out, lock the door, and he'll do that.
Yeah.
He'll lock the door, and then obviously he's in the vehicle and can let me back in, but. So
the dog's a little different.
I call my mother. I have a backup spare
That's
set at the
good.
house.
That's good.
So she's got to go from East Utica to Mills, then out to Waterville. But fortunately, one of the nice young ladies at the Waterville vet, I don't know, it was her grandfather or something, is some auto body guy, and he's got the tools to get in there.
The Jimmy.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
So they got into your car.
It took about, I think, 45 minutes beginning to end.
They had to enjoy your visit.
Well, with what I paid at the end, I hope they enjoyed it because I know I didn't. But real quick, the issue with the dog again. So now there's a stranger walking up to the vehicle. Shay gets
the
excited.
dog urinates in your car.
That was awesome.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so we've been doing some cleaning and
Sounds like a spectacular.
She's spayed, right?
she is, and that's
Okay,
I
good.
believe that's where
That's
the issue
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
comes from because when it was Stephen Swan or Annette Stephen Swan, what is it?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Anita's-
yeah. Anita's
Anita's
Stephen
Stephen
Swan. And I understand why they do this, but she was very young when she was fixed, so I guess that's they say one of the side effects of fixing an animal that young is the incontinence issue. So.
Well, it sounds like
If anyone's in the market for a free vehicle or a dog, call now, 315. No, you can take the car, but you're not taking my dog.
You had quite a Tuesday. We do have a few school delays here this morning. Again, as we said, mainly in the higher elevations. So you're dealing with Morrisville Eaton is on a 2-hour delay, no AM BOCES, no AM Pre-K. Mount Markham is on a 2-hour delay. O&D Young is on a 2-hour delay. Richfield Springs, 2-hour delay, no AM BOCES. And a little deeper to the south, Sherburne, Earlville, in case there's anybody down there listening, is on a 2-hour delay today. Everybody else is wide open and moving as normal. Got a lot to get to coming up here, including the obviously another day of war and where we stand in that world. There's also some background on this. A lot of people saying we're at war because, so the left saying, we're at war because this is to avoid the Epstein story. So this is kind of the wag the tail type thing. I don't believe that is it, and I'll give you my take on why we are here and why we should not be surprised. Because it doesn't seem that the evidence is backing up the story that within a week Iran could have struck us with a ballistic missile. They were working on their nuclear program and a missile program, and we were a week away from getting potentially attacked. Tanya J. Powers on the line right now. We'll be right with you, Tanya. Stand by. And so that story, and then you had Marco Rubio yesterday, and the president disagreeing. Marco Rubio saying this was because of Israel was about to attack, and we joined in, and the president said that's not true. Israel had nothing to do with it. In fact, we were probably going to go before Israel was going to go. So, but more of that mixed messaging that's going on. But I've got a theory, and we'll get to that coming up. But let's go, if we can, to Tanya J. Powers, who's standing by right now. It was also a big day for midterm primaries yesterday, and there have been some really big stories that have come out of it. Tanya J. Powers, good morning. I've got you now. Tanya, good morning. I think I have you now.
Hey.
Davey walks away, and we're all screwed here. So
There you go. Yeah, now I got you.
all right. So some big stories coming out of the first primaries of the year here in this midterm year.
Yes. I think the biggest one we were watching was that Texas Senate race.
Yeah.
The GOP side, predictably, kind of like everybody had originally thought, this will go to a runoff. You have Cornyn, the incumbent GOP Senator John Cornyn, who was being challenged by the state attorney general, Ken Paxton. That had been a contentious race at best. That is the nicest thing you could probably call that one. It had several candidates, but those two emerged as the ones who got the most share of the vote. The candidate had to get at least 50% of the primary vote in order to avoid a runoff, and they did not do that. So it'll be Cornyn and Paxton in a runoff on May the 26th for the GOP Senate nomination there.
Boy, that's an interesting case because there is Cornyn, who is certainly one of the most conservative voters on the Republican side, but there have been times he has strayed from President Trump, including he is not willing to say the 2020 election was stolen. So Trump has been has not been all that favorable to him. And meanwhile, the other guy has this bribery case from the past and all that, and it's so close there has to be a runoff. So this was a rough night for Republicans in Texas.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, his role as Attorney General of the state is going to also be highlighted a lot because of what happened on the Democratic side. You had the Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico, state representative, who were both trying to get the Democratic nomination for that same Senate seat. And voting was extended in Dallas County and Williamson County. That's just outside Austin, after voters had reported being turned away and told to go to different voting precincts because of new primary rules. The state attorney general, Paxton's office, challenged that decision to keep the polls open longer. The state Supreme Court ruled that the ballots cast by people not in line by 7 o'clock should be separated from others. It is not immediately clear how that's going to be carried out. Jasmine Crockett has already said she's going to seek legal action because after the voting was over. In Harris County, that includes Houston, also a big stronghold for Democrats. A spokesperson said that as of 10 o'clock there were still voters at 20 centers
this
trying
is a
to
mess.
cast ballots.
Yeah.
So, it is a big mess.
Meanwhile, Tallarico that's his name, right? Tallarico?
Yeah.
He is a very interesting candidate and had a really big day yesterday. Interesting in that he has been quite appealing to those, not only on the he's a minister, but not only on the Democrat side, and he's not doing the same old Democrat storyline. He has a message really of healing. But you have Joe Rogan, of all people, who's saying not only should you vote for this guy for the U.S. Senate in Texas, but he should run for president in 2028. That's coming from Joe Rogan.
Wow.
So, and he's a Democrat. So this is becoming very, very interesting, Tanya, in Texas. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what Joe Rogan and some of the manosphere types have been saying, I mean, he is one of the reasons that I that's not mine. I totally borrowed that from other people. But if you look at what they've been saying in recent days, they have. I mean, he helped Trump out a lot in 2024 when he went on his podcast. He helped him get a lot of voters. He has even been very critical in the last few weeks about Trump in general. So it's not completely surprising that he would kind of throw behind Tallarico. Tallarico got a huge bump. CBS did him the best favor when they decided that Stephen Colbert couldn't air his late night interview.
Oh,
with him.
that was the biggest thing. I was sitting watching
the biggest favor.
It was huge. The number of views they got on YouTube. Everyone went to see who is this guy that supposedly the FCC doesn't want to be getting an interview on Colbert. And Tanya, we all know the greatest way to get numbers is for someone to tell you not to watch it. And controversy, that always is big.
That got him a huge amount of attention, and it also got him a lot of campaign money. He had apparently outspent Crockett on TV advertising by more than 4-1 as of late last month. So, that was a huge influx of campaign money for him.
Well, very interesting. And by the way, she is an African-American and really owned the black vote in Texas yesterday. So it's all very, very interesting to watch this play out. And, of course, there were other big primaries around the country, but Texas was the one everybody was really, really keeping an eye on. Any others that you want to highlight, your thoughts?
I mean, the other one that we had been watching was the North Carolina one. Democrat Roy Cooper will face Republican Michael Whatley. Of course, Roy Cooper, the former governor of North Carolina, Michael Whatley, the former RNC chair who was backed by Trump. They will go to, the general in November to, that race is kind of critical to as far as deciding who's going to control the Senate. Remember, Democrats just need to pick up 4 seats. As long as they keep the rest of the ones they've got, they can't pick up 4, they would take back control of the Senate. So every one of these Senate races is hotly contested is an understatement, and that's one of the reasons why.
Going to be a very interesting year with these midterms. So, Tanya, thank you so much as always. Have a wonderful day.
Sure, thanks.
All right, Tanya G. Powers from Fox News. Coming up, by the way, Mike's comment on the Joe Rogan thing. Basically, Rogan, according to, trying to get this back here, according to Mike, got talked into endorsing Trump during an episode with Elon Musk a few weeks before the election. That was very interesting because Rogan previously had been and still is a big Bernie Sanders fan.
Yeah, he endorsed Sanders in 2020.
Yeah, became this huge wing of the electorate for Donald Trump, especially with young males.
Podcast?
Oh yeah.
And in fairness,
one of the big ones.
He offered the biggest ones. Time to Kamala Harris, and
she chose not to do it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. Good point, Mike. Very nice. And coming up, we'll Mike. I'll get through this. Jeff will do an update on the news.
Who's Mike?
If you want, you can come in and do the news. Mike with an update on the news.
Can we bill Mike for the dog thing last night?
AKA Jeff. And then I want to congratulations in order to Whitesboro. We'll explain that coming up in a second. And can you imagine that this World War I relic has been stolen from up north? We'll explain and give you an update on this story. It is crazy how they did it. We'll get into all of that coming up following news, which is right now, 6:40 at WIBX.
Yes, thank you, Bill. Cloudy skies, 30 degrees at 6:40. We're learning more about the first service members killed in Operation Epic Fury. 6 Americans have lost their lives so far. The U.S. and Israel launching military operations against Iran, of course, over the weekend. 4 of those casualties were U.S. Army Reserve soldiers. The other 2 have yet to be identified. U.S. Central Command says more than 50,000 troops, 200 fighter jets, and 2 aircraft carriers are participating in Operation Epic Fury, with more capabilities on the way. President Trump says the U.S. Navy may start escorting oil tankers as gas prices start to rise in the U.S. Trump posting the Navy may join the tankers through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil travels through that strait, and Iran says it will target any vessel using that narrow waterway. Voters in 3 states hit the polls Tuesday as the first primaries of the midterm elections were held in Texas, North Carolina, and Arkansas. The Texas races are getting the most attention. On the Democrat side, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Texas State Representative James Tallarico faced off in a heated race to become the nominee for the U.S. Senate. Tallarico is projected the winner in that matchup. Meanwhile, the GOP Senate primary race headed for a runoff in the Lone Star State with Senator John Cornyn and State Attorney General Ken Paxton having advanced. The father of a Georgia high school shooting suspect has been found guilty on all counts for contributing to the alleged actions of his son. Colin Gray was charged with second-degree murder after his teenage son allegedly shot 11 people, killing 4 at Appalachia High School in 2024. Prosecutors say Gray supplied the murder weapon, even though there were signs his son would inflict harm with it. Nearly 24 states are giving GoFundMe 2 weeks to prove that the fundraising site is not plagiarizing donation web pages and taking, quote, tips from donors. New Jersey State Attorney General Jennifer Davenport and 21 other attorneys general joined charitable regulators in sending a letter to the fundraising site demanding it show all unauthorized donation web pages and disclose all info like who donations were made to. And BillDictionary.com is adding a new word.
Well, lovely.
It's Swifty.
Swifty.
As in
they're a little late. I mean, Swifties is gone now, at least for us. Can't even believe it.
How is that a new word?
It's Swifty, Swiftie, as in Taylor Swift.
Oh, a Swifty. Oh, God.
The term
Don't they call that a colloquialism?
You may be right. Yeah.
Yes, and
which is not really a real word.
Some of these words shouldn't be.
Apparently, it's
just
so
stop
big.
the sentence. Some of these words shouldn't be.
Words.
Period.
Yes.
Yes.
Some of these aren't words, but they are now.
The term is officially defined as a fan of the music of Taylor Swift.
It's funny how I went to Swifties and not Taylor Swift. It shows you where my mind is.
She wasn't even there.
I'm hungry. It's early in the morning. I'm feeling the stomach growl a little bit right now. So
we have cloudy skies and 30 degrees. Bill, the warm-up is coming. Yes,
I'll get into
is.
that. Let's hear what what Ray Stasiuk has to say first on our current forecast.
We'll continue with spotty precip coming to an end here this morning. Still could be some slick spots as most of us are hovering in the low to mid 30s and some areas of fog around. Other than that, the clouds a good way to actually some sunshine today, 43. Some clouds tonight, mid 20s, colder North Country. And some rain tomorrow afternoon, 43. And a chance of rain through early Friday, 45 Friday's high. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stasiuk, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
Right now, clouds and 30 degrees.
We did mention Morrisville, 2-hour delay, no AM BOCES, no pre-K, AM pre-K. Mount Markham, 2-hour delay, Owen D. Young, 2-hour delay, and Richfield on a 2-hour delay, no AM BOCES, and Sherburne, Earlville Central on a 2-hour delay here this morning. In terms of the forecast, you're right, we are on a warm-up. By Saturday, it'll be really warm into the 50s, and we're looking at next week 60s and even close to 70 degrees next week. However, one comment you made earlier this morning, I hope this is the last of the white stuff, the snow, and I'm here to say that's not likely. In fact, if you look to the other side of next week, temperatures are back down in the low 30s with snow in the forecast. Again, that still has to hold true. It is a week away.
How far ahead are you?
I'm a week in.
We're talking next Wednesday?
Correct. Yes. Yep. So if you go to next Wednesday, you're looking at 69 with rain. But by Thursday, it's calling for a cold front to come through. Goes to 40 and then into the 30s for the foreseeable future. That is the long-range forecast.
Which never accurate.
Which was accurate for this week. It did call for this warm-up. But to think that it's March and we still could go back to snow, I know. Believe me, I get it. I want this to be over as well. All right, a quick break, and we'll get into this story about this World War I vintage piece of history and how it was stolen in the North Country in Forestport, coming right up at WIBX.
Veterans, you and your family know all too well the many hardships that challenge your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The Good News Foundation invites you to a free fellowship group of veterans. This get-together is run by retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4 Richard Smith, the author of Camouflage Christian. Check out Veterans for Worship the third Wednesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. It's a bit of a slick, depending on where you are, higher elevations, sidewalks, side streets possibly, but not all that bad. Wednesday morning. There's a description for you, if you like it. Let's see. I said Whitesboro, Davey. You know what I'm talking about. Congratulations in order to Whitesboro, who defeated on Monday night Skinny Atlas, which is the ice hockey, boys ice hockey favorite. I think they won the sectional championship 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And Whitesboro knocked them off. And it was actually Skinny Atlas that beat New Hartford on Friday night in overtime to make it to the finals. And Whitesboro knocks them off.
Congratulations to the Warriors.
They will play in the state tournament starting this weekend.
Excuse me. Not allowed to call them that anymore.
Oh, they changed their name?
They changed their name?
Oh, absolutely. That was part of the state
It's
thing.
just Whitesboro now, right?
Can't be Warrior because that means that you're mocking the Native Americans.
What is it?
It's nothing. They went
It's
with
just
Go
Whitesboro.
Blue. Yeah, it's just
Mm,
Whitesboro now.
Sorry about that.
See, I think they should have gone with
Barrows.
blue.
Well,
Whitesboro blue.
We're all offended by it, by the way, and I agree. I agree with you.
yeah.
Although my knock on that was when I do baseball games, they're always yelling, "Come on, Blue! It was outside, Blue!"
Davey,
So-
you may have to be.
Having the fans always yelling, "Let's go, Blue!"
Yeah.
it would start to make
Mixed
the
message.
umpires think you
Mixed
were
message.
constantly yelling at us.
You may be suspended for that, Davey. I hate to say it.
Oh, good. Then I don't have to be. I don't have
Well,
to. I can come back on Monday.
No.
Thank you very much.
You'll be-
you guys can run everything. You guys can run everything on Friday.
You will be suspended after all of the work you do.
I'll see you guys on
Okay.
Monday at 6 o'clock. Enjoy the weekend. Good luck with the Heart Radiothon. Good luck with everything else. I'll see you on Monday.
All right, see, we've triggered Davey.
Well, he's pent up there. He's been busy.
Well, I got to tell you, he's a true warrior. Oh, no. I said it, too. I'll have to be suspended also. Okay, listen. This story in Forestport. This is a rare World War I air raid siren.
Okay.
And what is interesting about this in World War I is the air raid sound was not what you heard in World War II. In World War II, it was that was the classic sound over London when the Germans were bombing London. This was more of the, boy, you know, the alarm that you have on your phone. In fact, I might actually, let's see, what time is it now? 6:50. Yeah, I can bring it up. It's the auga sound. And that's what this rare, which is worth a lot of money, probably a couple grand this thing is worth. This rare alarm was in Forestport. It was on a pole, and someone cut
the
pole and took the alarm, took the siren. That's crazy.
You know, I always wonder when people take things like that. I mean, the item is so unique.
Where are you going?
Yeah,
with
where are you going?
I know. Well, there are some out there, and they do sell for about $2,000.
Is there a black market for these kinds of things?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a black market. I think you could find stuff like this. There's a rarity to it, which makes it more valuable. But the fact that it's not like you've just stolen a Mona Lisa, so it's not a one of a kind.
Right.
That becomes a little bit problematic. So now officials are saying if anyone knows any information, but what a way to steal the thing. It's like no one can steal that. We have it completely bolted right into it was basically a telephone pole.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. And they cut the pole.
It's I don't know what you would do with that.
They're saying it happened on February 27th, or at least close to there. Troopers in Old Forge received a report of stolen property from a home on Bridge Road in the town of Forestport, according to Trooper Jennifer Giron, a spokesperson for the troopers. And the word is that somebody, probably in the middle of the night, I don't know when, they must have cut it. And I can't imagine they would have used a chainsaw. Someone would have heard that.
Yeah, but the timeline that they gave on the news kind of makes me think like maybe the property owner had gone someplace for the weekend, because it was like it was taken sometime between late Friday evening and
listen,
Saturday evening.
You're in Forestport, you hear a chainsaw, that is
not a big deal.
Not an uncommon sound.
A chainsaw, though, to cut down a pole? Will those blades get through metal?
No.
It was mounted on like a telephone.
You do know the telephone poles are
a
traditional.
telephone pole.
Yeah,
a
that's what they had it mounted on.
Gotcha.
Wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a flagpole.
Not a flagpole.
Yeah.
No, telephone pole. Mm-hmm. So or utility pole, whatever we might call it today. But yeah, while there are some metal ones, the majority are wood.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the chainsaw would cut through.
So I shouldn't even share this, but it sounds to me like I just can't understand who would take this. It sounds like a drug addict looking for scrap metal, or an initiation of some kind.
You know, I thought about that too. Is there a fraternity that's rushing right now?
You need to prove your allegiance and do something risky,
or somebody's distorted,
treasure
hunt.
Where would you sell it, or how would you use it?
Oh well. You could go to some let me tell you, if you had something like this at Bouckville, you could sell that.
Oh yeah.
Now maybe not Bouckville because it's too close, but maybe you do the Denver version of Bouckville,
right?
Or you go somewhere where nobody really knows the story, and you'd sell it. It's not like you have one of the crown jewels stolen from in Paris. Where it's a one of a kind. This is unique, but it is. You'd
have to be knowledgeable about it. To recognize it.
And somebody who might know about this. I think he's calling in. Can I get him, Davey? Can I get him instead of him doing your show? He does mine.
He's doing the Smitty show first.
Could you put him on hold? Okay, good. All right. Joe Lode could kind of answer this for us. Good morning, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning. So, it's not that uncommon to try to sell something like that. There's definitely a market for it, but you're right. Chainsaws, Forestport, I live in Remsen.
Yeah.
We hear them all the time, and it's unfortunate, but look at the years ago, Bill, people used to climb telephone poles to take the insulators, and there's insulators that are worth lots and lots of money, and they would go and steal the insulators off the top of the poles.
We call those people dead, and it's really awesome. Well, they had to know what they were doing. They had to know what they were doing.
They were normally on poles that didn't have power to them anymore.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I was thinking, when you said something historical was taken from Forestport, I got nervous because I thought for sure you were going to say the Buffalo over at the Buffalo Head Restaurant.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've tried to list that thing before, and you can't budge it.
Oh, you tried to steal it. I had my pickup truck right up there. I was ready to go. You could not move it.
Well, I always thought, Bill, that buffalo is something historical, like the big cow that was at Joel's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And it should be painted to look like the Buffalo Bills logo, and some bar could put it out front.
Oh,
it would be awesome,
It would be. In fact, you see them all over Buffalo. You see those all over Buffalo.
Yeah.
Is that still closed?
Instead, it's just deteriorating.
What? The restaurant?
Buffalo Head is closed.
Buffalo Head is, and they look like they almost had an owner or a buyer coming in, and then they didn't. So, it is a little. It needs work.
Ahead,
there's no doubt it needs work. There's parts. That's an old restaurant.
Yep.
There are parts that when you walk in, hold on, because you're going to start leaning to the right because the flooring is kind of sagged a little bit, and God knows what it looks like now. Boy, I hope they're protecting it.
I heard that there was problems with either the well or the septic, and that's really what's holding it up. But, another historical restaurant right up the street, Garamone's, is still going, although Garamone's is for sale too, and look at historically, the Spaghetti Kettle just closed.
Yep.
There's restaurants that are, part of history in this area that are just closing up.
So on Route 5, the Spaghetti Kettle?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, the
I did not know that.
Kettle is closed. Yeah, they decided they were going to shut down, and then all of a sudden just didn't reopen.
Now, let me just say this. The pizzeria next to it is still open, right?
Yeah, according to the news report.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because that pizza, their pizza and subs really, really good there.
I think that was a lease.
I think it was too. I think it's a different business. Okay, Joe. Thank you, man. All right.
Hey. Have a great day, guys. Thanks
for the insight. Joe did a lot of antique work. So I don't know what happened, Davey. I completely lost track of the time. Look at this. Crazy. We're getting off to a crazy start. Hold tight. Much to get to here on this Wednesday morning.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Paint Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
The U.S. and Israel keep up the attacks in Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We've already struck nearly 2,000 targets.
U.S. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper ahead of another Pentagon update next hour. He says they've severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of missiles, launchers, and drones and sunk 17 ships.
For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman.
The concern about fuel shipments have lifted prices of oil and gasoline. AAA's national average for regular up 9 more cents this morning, 20 cents in 2 days to $3.19 per gallon. Iran keeps counterattacking, targeting U.S. facilities in the region, prompting the State Department to urge Americans to leave countries there. 6 U.S. troops have been killed. Fox's Mark Meredith reports.
The Pentagon releasing the names of 4 of the 6 killed, which include 35-year-old Captain Cody Cork of Florida, Sergeant's First Class Nicole Amore of Minnesota, she was 39, 42-year-old Noah T. Jins of Nebraska, and 20-year-old Declan Cody of Iowa. Nicole's husband, speaking with the Associated Press, quoted, "For her to be one of the first, it hurts."
And Iran is also getting ready to mourn their dead supreme leader killed over the weekend with a 3-day funeral. Fox's Trey Yingst reports.
In neighboring Iraq, in the city of Najaf, the birthplace of Iran's former Ayatollah, there was a symbolic funeral procession held today where people were chanting against the United States and cheering for the Iranian regime.
It is a symbolic funeral, which we consider a condemnation of the forces of tyranny. imperialism, and the Americans.
A Republican congressman in Texas has been primaried out. Dan Crenshaw defeated by Republican challenger Steve Toth. GOP Senator John Cornyn headed for a runoff against State Attorney General Ken Paxton. Neither got 50% in the Republican primary. Whoever wins in May will face James Tallarico, who beat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in the Democratic Senate primary. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Democrats want to limit the U.S. action in Iran, considering a war powers resolution this week after a briefing they got from the Trump administration they're not satisfied with.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says President Trump decided to order airstrikes on Iran after it was clear negotiations were not going to work.
They were playing us on the negotiations and that this was a threat that was untenable.
Rubio spent a second day with military leaders on Capitol Hill briefing members of Congress. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says he's not heard a clear strategy.
This is not a necessary war. It's a war of choice.
President Trump says he was not led into the conflict by Israel, saying instead he may have forced their hand on the timing of attacks. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A new Fox News poll shows voters 50-50 split approving the U.S. strikes on Iran or disapproving them. Only 29% say President Trump's handling of Iran makes us safer. Just over half say less safe. A man from Honduras in the U.S. illegally sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, and then Jose Melgar Rivas will be deported. He pleaded guilty to assaulting immigration agents and resisting arrest. On Wall Street, stock futures have been rising modestly, coming off a sell-off. At one point, the Dow was plunging over 1,000 points, but it closed down yesterday, only 400. In the NFL, ahead of free agency, a star quarterback who was the number one pick of the 2019 draft needs to find a new team.
The Arizona Cardinals have reportedly informed Kyler Murray that they plan to release him next week. Murray posted a goodbye message to Cardinals fans on social media, writing in part, quote, "I wanted nothing more than to be the one to end the 77-year drought for this organization. I am sorry I failed us." Murray has dealt with numerous injuries the last several years, playing in just 5 games last season due to a foot injury. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
In college basketball, Miami of Ohio beat Toledo to stay undefeated. Ranked 19th, Miami's now 30-0. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies, 31 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. We'll check your Weather Center forecast coming up in just a few minutes. This news update is brought to you by CSEA. The CSEA community spans the state, yet CSEA unites your voice. One voice for fair wages, one voice for vital benefits and secure futures. CSEA, one voice for many. A man who was found not responsible by mental disease or defect in the stabbing death of a 6-year-old girl in Sherrill more than a decade ago, now facing new charges of attempted murder. David Treblecock, a patient at the Capital District Psychiatric Center in Albany, allegedly kicked, punched, and stomped a woman's face and head in an incident early Monday morning. She was also a patient at that facility. She's in critical condition at Albany Medical Center. Treblecock, the incident in 2011 involved Treblecock stabbing Lauren Bellius to death in her bedroom in Sherrill. He was sent to the Albany County Jail on the new charges of attempted murder. Oneida County leaders mourning the loss of its longest-serving comptroller. Joe Timpano has passed away. He was 71 years old. Timpano was a comptroller for the county for 25 years, first being appointed to the post in 1998, then elected in 1999. He also received the Legacy Award for it in 2023. He is survived by his wife Jill and 4 brothers. A funeral is set for noon on Friday at St. Mary of Mount Carmel in Utica. Syracuse University is announcing who will serve as the 13th chancellor in school history. Following a nationwide search, current Vice Chancellor Michael Haney has been chosen to fill the role. Haney is an Air Force veteran who has worked at SU for the last 20 years. He also takes over for Kent Severud, who is leaving to become president of the University of Michigan. Haney says he hopes to be accessible and connected to the campus.
Can I just say something real quick about that, Bill?
Sure.
So I watched that press conference yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were grilling him about if he was going to make the decision about the basketball team. He says, that's not my decision until the next athletic director comes on. They kept on grilling him. And finally somebody from his department says, okay, enough questions about the basketball. Can we concentrate on the chancellor's achievements?
Between basketball and football, what a collapse in athletics at Syracuse. It's really unbelievable. So now Boeheim came out afterwards and said he's a huge supporter of the athletics program. So Boeheim still exists out there for days like these. Manaski.
And Bill, new data is showing the spread of the flu is continuing to hold steady across central New York during the week ending February 21st. Oneida County had 97 positive flu tests. Oswego County had 75. Experts say it's never too late to get a flu shot if you have not received one yet. To find a pharmacy near you still administering them, you can go to vaccines.gov. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time coming up on 7:09. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
We'll continue with spotty precip coming to an end here this morning. Still could be some slick spots as most of us are hovering in the low to mid 30s and some areas of fog around. Other than that, the clouds a good way to actually some sunshine today, 43. Some clouds tonight, mid 20s, colder north country. As of rain tomorrow afternoon, 43, and a chance of rain through early Friday, 45 Friday's high. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stage at WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 31 degrees at 7:09. All right, in sports, some big changes with big names in the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals parting ways with quarterback Kyler Murray. They informed the quarterback they intend to release him on the first day of the league year, which is next Wednesday. Unless a trade happens before then, Murray is owed almost $37 million by the team this year. A premier pass rusher in the NFL is now a free agent. Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals posting a goodbye message to the team and their fans on Tuesday after the team declined to use the franchise tag on the defensive end. He would have made nearly $30 million if Cincinnati had tagged him this season. The Jets are keeping Breece Hall, as expected. He receives a non-exclusive version of the franchise tag. He'll get just over $14 million. He can still negotiate with other teams and sign an offer sheet, but the Jets would receive first two first-round picks as compensation if they decline to match a competing offer. Former Giants quarterback Daniel Jones gets placed with the transition tag in Indianapolis. The tag guarantees the Colts the right of first refusal for Jones if another team looks to step in and make an offer. The Giants parting way with linebacker Bobby Okereke after 3 seasons. The move frees up $9 million in salary cap space. The free agent negotiation window now opens on Monday. NBA action, the Knicks rolled past the Raptors 111-95. Jalen Brunson led the Knicks with 26 points. The Nets were torched by the Heat 124-98. They've now lost 9 straight games. Syracuse loses to Louisville 77-62. They're now 15-15 on the season. They will play Pittsburgh on Saturday.
Comets last night.
Wrap up the regular season.
Comets with a big win last night. They have now won 4 or 5 in a row.
5. They won 5
in a row. This is pretty huge. However, they got a lot of ground to make up. Probably too much to make up. Anything else?
I like to see the crowd on Saturday at the Syracuse game. How many people are going to be there?
I just mentioned New Hartford boys basketball had a great season. Unfortunately, they were knocked out of the playoffs last night. RFA will play tonight as the Section 3 playoffs roll on.
And Whitesboro.
And Whitesboro, yeah.
And
sectional champions in hockey.
And unfortunately, the Lady Knights of Holland Patton fell short against Little Falls last night.
Okay, so unless you're from Little Falls, then you're like, fortunately, the Mounties, I believe. Can that still be used, Mounties? We can still say Mounties? The Mounties prevailed.
So, and I have here on the Comets website, they lost to Lehigh Valley, 4-1.
I thought they won last night.
It looks like they won.
Yeah. Yeah. Today is National Hug a GI Day. We don't really refer to them as GI anymore. But GI stands for anybody? I had to look this up. I did not know.
Well, usually GI is used in the term of gastrointestinal.
Well, in the medical world, that's not what this is.
In the world of defense, though.
Hug someone's stomach.
Having a GI issue doesn't mean there's a problem with a soldier.
But a GI, from the military aspect, is either a government issue or general issue. That's what that stands for. So it's National Hug a GI Day. This will be celebrated throughout America. And, of course, right now, while we are at war, it's certainly a pretty important time to do such a thing.
Well, and actually, every day is a good
every
day to hug
is.
a GI.
That's a very big. And your father actually was.
My dad was retired from the Air Force, and I have family members that are retired military and good friends.
Today is National Grammar Day. It's being celebrated throughout America, except Mississippi, Louisiana, and Utica, New York. It will not be celebrated here. For everybody else.
Yeah, I seen that.
Especially
because when I tried to escape, I
You ain't doing that, are
you? I actually have been thinking about doing a segment where anything that starts ES, I just make it X.
X.
So I don't know. I had a list of words. I can't think of them right now.
Explain yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that one you can get away with.
That one you can get away with.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, explain is how you're supposed to say it.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, it's National Grammar Day, being celebrated. Really,
I've seen that, Bill,
throughout America. So there you have that.
That's just born to be a disaster.
I had said consider this theory when people are telling you, we're at war with Iran right now because Trump is trying to take the attention off Epstein, and I say I do not believe that. However, if you read Project 2025 and dig into that, we should already have known we were going to be attacking Iran because it's in there. This is really more of a Christian nationalist holy war. Dig in. I mean, read. It's right there in black and white. It's right there. Actually, much of what has happened during this first very busy year of the Trump administration is right there in Project 2025. It was campaigned on and promises kept. So people should not be so surprised.
Lance and Lee says the pizzeria is called Primo.
There used to be a Primo in Ilion. I loved their pizza. They're now have a full restaurant at the old
Spaghetti Kettle.
No, that's in Ilion. They're now Ketchators. Is it the Elks Lodge? Not the Elks Lodge. It was the Moose Club. Maybe. I don't know which one it was. Up there on Behringer Road. But Primo in I guess that would be Clinton, technically over there by the Spaghetti Kettle, attached to, Primo Pizzeria. And their pizza's really good. And I believe they remain open.
Darlene in Sequoia says the Comets won last night. It's funny.
They did win.
On the website here, if you go to the schedule, it says they lost 4-1.
It is win number 5, 5th win in a row for the Utica Comets.
Go Comets.
Pretty big. All right, quick break. Coming up, we'll, I got to tell you, we're going to lose a lot of snow in the next week. We might even see 70 degrees before we go back to winter, which I think is still coming.
Well, don't let the door hit you.
You might start to see some grass out there, and that makes me think about Roseanne Leparco, Master Gardener, Cornell Cooperative Extension. We'll speak with her as, believe it or not, we're heading into spring. Here's another sign of springtime, even though we're not officially heading into spring, is the clocks will spring forward this weekend on Sunday morning at 2 a.m.
Awesome.
So you'll get an extra hour of daylight in the afternoon, evening hours. 7:16 at WIBX.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599. 800-780-3599.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America. We're talking politics, pop culture, and comedy, minus all the rage and finger-pointing. It's real talk for real people who just want to laugh, think, maybe learn something along the way. So join the fun weekdays at noon right here on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, Central New York's home for talk that's smart, honest, and just the right amount of crazy. Fox Across America with your main man, Jimmy Fallon.
All right. Just a little bit of crazy. Just a little bit of crazy. The perfect amount, says Jimmy. River Hills Properties continues to grow and commit here in upstate New York and beyond. They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, Copenhagen, in Newport, coming soon to the city of Rome, all of upstate New York and the Adirondacks. And they have you covered. And it's with the extra service, luxury service, if you will. The River Hills Properties always provides for every sale the book. It's 40 to 100 pages filled with details about the home. It's like the manual for the home. When was the furnace put in? How long's the warranty? How about the roof, etc.? You had New York sash windows put in. Oh, it's all there in the book. And that would go to every prospective buyer to help them make their decision. And of course, if you buy the place, it becomes your manual for the home. Pretty awesome. And, of course, They don't use the lockbox. You hear that over and over again, but it's a big deal. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown versus someone wandering through your house when you're not there. We were never comfortable with that, and River Hills was the only one we could find that would give us that service. They do it for everybody. It's the River Hills way. And that very same service you can find with the very same committed agents and brokers with River Hills Properties South. That's River Hills Properties in Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, the Gulf Coast of Florida. Thinking about snowbird concept after this winter? Well, you could call someone here or Andrew or Robin or anybody down there. They have you covered. At River Hills Properties, nobody sells homes like River Hills. 315-896-1009.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, coming up, we're going to give you a chance to win Pioneers tickets. Let's fill the auditorium, the Adirondack Bank Center, soon to be the Aero Bank Center. Let's fill the odd for the Pioneers UCFC championship game. And let me tell you, this is going to be a tough game. Geneseo just beat Utica in the last month 2 times. This is going to be a heck of a game. So get ready for that. And we have tickets to give away this morning. Compliments of Shipwright. Shipwright Office is a complete print shop. Menus, brochures. They'll print business cards, large jobs, small jobs, maybe school or business logoed items, signs and banners, trade show displays, stickers, T-shirts, mugs, sports jerseys, and so much more. Everything is done on the premises. Visit Shipwright Office for packaging, packing, and shipping anywhere in the world, really, at competitive prices. Shipwright Office in South Utica, 1926 Genesee Street, the former King Cole Plaza. And Manaski.
Easy and Ilion.
I read this, yeah.
Sent a message yesterday. I didn't get to it, but we'll skip that for now.
So they have the, he also sent the message, Primo Pizzeria. Their pizza is still available at to the left side of the restaurant. To the right side, it's Cacciatore's. That is the old Moose Lodge or Moose Club in Ilion. The Cacciatore family.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Anything else you want to add? Okay. Let me go to Roseanne Leparco.
Well, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. You're there now.
Lance comment just came in. This is a discussion, not a quick read. And move on.
Okay. All right, we'll save it. Roseanne Leparco is a master gardener with the Cornell Cooperative Extension, which has ties to Beth here as well. Roseanne, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How you doing? Sorry you've been under the weather a little bit.
Well, it's been a crazy, for 3 weeks I was either running a temperature or I lost my voice, and it was crazy. But all is good.
That's good, because you could start thinking about gardening. That could cheer you up and make you feel better.
I got to tell you, we had another lemon off my wife's lemon tree just this weekend.
That was going to be my first question for you. How was that lemon tree? Was the picture you sent me was something? How was the lemon?
I mean, it's unbelievable. It produced this year, and there's still 2 more full-size lemons on this lemon tree. It produced 8 full-size lemons for us in the last year. It's crazy. It's a tiny little tree. Yeah.
So what does a lemon tree typically yield? I mean, 8 in a year, you barely mix a drink with that.
Well, it would be very similar if you have a larger... How tall does a lemon tree get? Does it get the size of like an apple tree?
Not that tall because you're bringing it in the house. But
well, outdoors, if it was, if we had the right climate, outdoors, it may get... How tall you think?
A dwarf apple tree. So it can get that tall. And indoors, it's not.
And it will produce the same type of fruit you'd get on an apple tree.
And since I corrected Smitty last hour, let me say it's a little person lemon tree, not a dwarf lemon tree.
Oh yeah. Where Roseanne? Oh my Lord.
Oh dear! Did I do something wrong? The word dwarf is used a lot in gardening.
You can't say anything anymore.
Why? Just the other day, I went to a big event up at 12 North. It's dwarf apple tree tossing, and I'll tell you, we had a blast. You know, they put Velcro on the wall, and sometimes the tree sticks right up there on the wall. It was so much fun.
I'm sorry, Roseanne.
Man, oh man! But
just wanted to bring you in on the fun.
Yeah, okay.
It's hard to think about gardening when you're looking outside, and
I know.
If I were to say a topic for today, it is time to start thinking about if you want to start your seeds indoors. It's a good time to start looking at seed starting equipment. So still a little too early to actually start, like tomato seeds or pepper seeds. Those are usually started end of March into April indoors. But you could start getting the equipment. I mean, the seeds are out already. If you go to the stores, they are out. And your seed starting kits with your seed starting soil. It's also worthwhile to invest in a heating mat because seeds like to be kept warm. So you could start looking at the equipment. It's definitely a good time to start planning. I know I've already started thinking about what I want to plant, and believe it or not, there are a lot of companies that'll still mail you free catalogs.
Yeah.
If you go to the Farmer's Almanac website, just do farmersalmanac.com. They actually have a list of all the companies that'll send you free garden catalogs, and the garden catalogs can almost be like a mini textbook.
Yeah.
You can start looking through them, deciding what colors you want, and it's also a good time to start doing your research. I would highly recommend Cornell University's garden-based learning website. Just put in your browser, Cornell garden-based learning. If you want to do food garden, just put food garden after that. There are videos. If you want to do raised bed gardenings, there's a great video on how to build one of your own. They've just released the 2026 vegetable varieties for New York State list. That's based on local gardeners testing different vegetable varieties, sending the results to Cornell, and then Cornell issues the list of vegetables that grew best for local gardeners. That list can be downloaded, and you can bring it with you to the nurseries. A lot of our local nurseries are tuned in to Cornell, and so many of them will feature those vegetables for sale. And that way you're looking at plants that grew best for typical home gardeners. So that's available for download. It's a good time to start thinking about how you're going to plan out your garden, and that's where you can go to our local Oneida County website, cceoneida.com. You know, go to the home and garden section. You'll see all our fact sheets so that you get yourself ready. So when it is, I think we're going to be ready to rock and roll the first day that we can get out there. Probably the only other thing you could do is get ready to prune as soon as weather permits, especially if you're growing any raspberries, blackberries, any fruit trees. Pruning is critical for those plants, and that can be done pretty soon, probably within the next month.
Well, we're going to lose a lot of snow in the next week. It's going to warm up, and make sure your sump pump is working because we're going to lose a lot of snow. John Howard has he and his wife have out in just outside Clinton have an incredible garden. They have a greenhouse, and they have vegetables and flowers and all sorts of things. And during when it was so cold, we had that stretch where it was below zero. He sent me a picture. It was like 60 degrees inside his greenhouse, and they're growing vegetables. So you could have, it doesn't have to be as large as his, but you could do a greenhouse for next year, and you could be dealing with vegetables all year long, right?
Absolutely. In fact, that's on my wish list that if my brother wanted to do something when he retires, is to build me a small greenhouse, because then you can typically garden all year round. That would just make the winter go by a little bit faster, I think.
Yeah.
Now, we have a couple of workshops coming up this month already.
Okay.
So
All
if you're thinking about gardening, we've got an apple tree grafting workshop coming up. That's on March 13th from 6 to 9 p.m. It will be at the Willowvale Fire Company in Chadwicks. The cost is $75 a person, but that includes all your grafting materials, and you'll go home with 5 grafted apple trees that you can plant at home. So that's coming up. Registration is required, so just go to our website. And then the Master Gardeners are going to have a fruit tree and berry workshop. That's on Saturday, March 28th from 9 to 1 p.m. That will be at the Rome Art and Community Center in Rome. And we will have workshops on growing raspberries, growing brambles. We'll have a workshop on growing figs at home. And we will feature Anna Wallace, who is the Cornell University Integrated Pest Management person. And she is going to give a presentation on integrated pest management for tree fruits. IPM's just a fancy word for a more organic approach to controlling pests on your apple tree. Again, that's on Saturday, March 28th from 9 to 1. Cost for that is $30. That covers all your materials for the class, and you'll have a light breakfast in the morning, kind of light refreshments, muffins and cakes. So we'd love to see you. Again, registration is required. Come out and start thinking about fruit gardening.
Listen, something else that is last week when it was Friday and Saturday, it was warmed up to like 50 degrees. It was for us, it was like sweltering warm. You know what came out? The stink bugs.
I already killed 2 of them this morning.
They're out early, believe it or not.
Yeah, wait until this weekend when if it gets anywhere near 60.
Oh yeah.
It's just that they're getting ready to go back outside.
Yeah.
The only thing I could tell you to do is obviously don't squish them or you get the stink. But you can gently grab them. I just gently grab them without trying to squeeze them and just let them go down the toilet.
The
or
toilet is the
them.
best way, but if you vacuum them, you're going to get that smell in your vacuum cleaner, so be aware. And
I have a little shop vac that I
do too.
just grab and put it back in the garage. And the Asian lady beetles are going to start coming out now, too, because they're ready to go outside. Unfortunately, it's just the cycle of life kind of thing. But they're now. I already killed 3 this morning, 2 or 3 of them this morning. So it's not good.
They're coming.
Fun.
The stink bugs and what you call the Asian lady beetle, are those because they came over from plants from other countries? I hear this, that we get wood or plants from other countries. They're embedded in the soil.
Both of those insects were actually imported.
Yeah, we did. 20 years ago, you didn't know what a stink bug was.
I never heard of it.
Yeah.
Right. And then once they get it, once they come into our country, they multiply. It's very difficult to eradicate them completely. The Asian lady beetles are a nuisance, but they're not a bad pest. They don't bother any plants or anything like that. But stink bugs, there's a lot of plants that they like. For example, you can get stink bugs attacking tomatoes, definitely fruit trees. So they're not a good insect. So both of them were imported, just like a lot of other, emerald ash borer, the spotted lanternfly. They're all on. They all were imported.
At least the stink bug isn't common for destroying your oak tree or something like that. I mean, but they're annoying.
Not as bad, exactly.
And they multiply. Right. So PETA sent me. They heard I was killing them, and they sent me. This little plastic thing that has a slide. It's almost got a little lever that you pull with your thumb up and back, and it goes over top of the stink bug, and then you slide it forward. Try not to take their legs off. So I shake it a little bit because I don't want to, torture them. And then I'll collect like 10 or 11 of them, and you can You could get 50 on a sunny day. It's unbelievable.
They're attracted to light, and they're attracted.
Sun,
so they're looking at the light outside. That's why you'll see them congregating in a window. Because they're looking for light.
Now, this is the part PETA doesn't like, is I took their humane device, and if you slide you slide it down, the little door, the little trap door, you slide it backwards with a quick flick of the wrist right into the toilet, you'll get 11 or 12 of them go right in there, hit that little lever, and flush them down the toilet. And away they go. Yeah.
The only good stink bug is a dead one.
That's
in
exactly
my world.
right. Yep. Be careful. Be careful. PETA's coming. They'll be coming after you. Comments like that.
I definitely, I know, because there's a lot of little things that I don't like.
Yes.
So.
Well, we're with you right now. So, all right. We appreciate it, Roseanne. We'll do it again soon. We're getting to that time. Daylight saving time this weekend. We're getting there.
That's right. It's going to be lighter. I have perennials that I overwintered in pots. I just put them out. I took them from underneath a storage area and put them in my second stall of the garage.
Here
and
we
believe
go.
it or not, I got a little bit of green growth. I got some daylilies coming up already.
All
so
right.
that's a good thing.
Can't wait for it to be sunny and 70. Okay, Roseanne, have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Thanks so much. And then, Beth, you have an event that is coming up as well.
Yeah, keeping in the same spirit, what Roseanne was talking about, this weekend is an on weekend for the market. So we'll be there Saturday morning from 9 to 1. We will have Daily Labor, which is a local company that'll be doing the first 100 bags will be free reusable shopping bags.
Oh, nice.
That he will have an apparatus set up to actually do screen printing with some select logos that we've picked out for support
really cool.
logo and the market. And we have a second of 3 workshops that are set up for seed saving. So keeping in the same mindset that Roseanne seems to be enjoying herself in, which is great as a master gardener. We're teaching. It's a very basic. A lot of people have heard about seed saving, but have never really gone through the process. So one of our vendors, Lisa Dean with Floral Root, who is one of our fantastic cut flower vendors, will be teaching the process of. And then we're going to have some dried seed heads there, just so people can kind of go through the exercise of what it means to salvage the seeds from the flower head. And then preserve it appropriately,
and then plant them.
And then the next session will be test propagating some seeds to see if they survive the harvest process.
9 a.m. until
9 to 1 in
1
the main
o'clock.
lobby of the train station at 321 Main Street.
Won't be long. You'll be outside.
Yep.
Won't be long.
Yep. May 23rd.
All right. Let's do Habaika's free money question of the day, Davey. This morning it is worth a whopping $200.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll give you a chance to win Pioneers tickets from Shipwright Office. $200 tickets, and I have tickets to the great camping expo that is coming up as well. We'll get you details on that.
Very cool.
All right. We'll take caller number what?
Caller number 4.
Fourth caller right now. Your chance to play with Mike's free money question of the day. Dial it right now at 315-736-0186. 315-736-0186. And coming up, he is the current mayor of Ilion, who can tell us a little about Cacciatores and Primo Pizza. Current mayor of Ilion, and he is announcing that he is running for re-election. We'll get to that. And the free money question next.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best Eggs. Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, with more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's industry ace. Our industry aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and will help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, listen, portions of the program brought to you by Ricky Z and Steve Ponte Mazda. You know, right now, Steve Ponte Mazda has some incredible deals on pre-owned vehicles. You know, they go through that amazing check where you know the vehicle is completely ready to go, and you get the remaining portion of the 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. And Rick always says, if you need a better deal, just come in and say, we need a better deal. We've been everywhere. We need a great deal on a pre-owned vehicle. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a pre-owned Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. All right, let's do Hobica's free money question of the day. And who do we have here? This is, I guess I don't have a name on you. Who are you? Good morning.
It's Jack in Rome.
Hello, Jack in Rome. How you doing?
It's been a while, Bo.
It has. It has. Greetings. Yeah. And your thinking cap on, ready to go. It's $200 on the line here. And if you're ready, so are we. Can you find that consolation? Maybe there's a card back here. I don't know. Davey, if you can find it.
Is it the movie passes?
No.
Oh, it's the RV show. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't have the details of it. All right, Jack, you know how this works. You have 7 seconds to answer, and you're ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, here is your question. For $200, here it is. If you're in the military, a GI stands for government issue. If you have diabetes, what does GI stand for? Ready, go.
Gastrointestinal disease.
Well, that would be a stomach problem. And, diarrhea. Without, coming right out and saying it. But Beth, GI, if you have as Wilford, what's his face, says diabetes, you would be suffering from GI.
Well, GI is something you have to consider. It's called the glycemic index.
Glycemic index, right? You have to consider
how the food would impact your blood sugar.
The sugar, the diabetes, yeah. Well, listen, I have tickets for you. I'll let you work it out with Davey if you can use them for the Pioneers Saturday night at the Adirondack Bank Center. And we could do, I believe, a pair or even 3 if you could use 3. Davey will hook you up there. And I have a 4-pack of tickets to the Big East Camping Show, March 21st and 22nd at Accelerate Sports in Whitesboro. So, Jack, you stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Okay.
All right, man. Thank you. In studio right now, he is the current mayor of the village of Ilion, Mayor John Stevens.
Good morning.
Did you know glycemic Index.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Do you suffer from?
No.
Okay.
That's one of the things I don't suffer from. Knock on wood.
Well,
I didn't know GI is military though, and
I didn't know that
knew it,
either.
but I just couldn't grab it this morning on the way in.
Come up with it. Yeah.
I thought it had
It could
something
be government issue or
general issue.
General issue.
Yeah.
I thought the GI for the diabetes was something to do with insulin. The I was insulin. So I was trying to think of something insulin, good insulin, bad insulin.
Well, glycemic kind of hits that.
That's sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
That's medical speak for sugar.
Mm-hmm. Listen, the doctor says to me, I think you got a GI problem. I'm like, a general issue?
Yeah, narrow that down, right?
Yeah. Can you tell me what this means? I don't know what you're talking about.
Industry jargon.
Yeah. Okay. John Stevens, mayor of Ilion. You are making and have made an announcement. You are running for re-election.
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
The
and
answer,
Primos and Cacciatores are still separate,
connected,
but the same.
They're
in the same building,
so
just
you can
separate.
still get the pizza, which we've
from
done.
Primos and wings, and
the restaurant
Cacciatores
is
sit down.
really nice as well. So
great place.
Great
Shameless
place.
plug.
I completely agree with you. Okay, so
you've come to the right place.
the question would be, what are you thinking? Why?
There's a lot of unfinished business. Everybody obviously knows the Remington touring project is still hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Dufold is still a valid project. We're still trying to wrap up the water. So we're in the middle of a lot of infrastructure and revitalization projects. And I think right now, at this point, continuity with everything is a necessity. We've done great. Our numbers as a board speak for themselves. I know people sometimes vote on emotion because they called and didn't get what they wanted.
Right.
They're upset about potholes. We all know that's out there. That's everywhere. That's not just Ilion. But right now, continuity, I think, is the way people have to think. Again, our numbers speak for themselves. Our investments in our infrastructure and our department improvements. I'll stand on that all day long.
The water thing is an issue, and you feel
Correct.
improvements are being made.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's always something out there. Well, that was only supposed to take a year.
Yeah.
I don't know where that was ever. That's never been mentioned, and I've been going to meetings since 2018 on this project. We all knew this was going to be a lengthy improvement process.
Yeah.
We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but we're not at the end of the tunnel yet. There's still much more to do.
Okay.
There's 2 or 3 phases left.
And what about the Remington building?
That's been purchased. That property has been purchased.
But we still don't know what they're going to do.
No, and they're
I would think that if you're gonna buy something and you don't know what you're going, I don't want to be critical by any means.
No,
but if you're gonna buy something and you don't know what you're doing with it, then maybe like a building the size of Stewart's would be a good start.
right. No,
but
touche, valid point.
Like a 2 million. I mean, how many square feet are we talking about?
1 million.
There? Yeah, 1
32
million
acres.
That's a
big facility.
It's larger than Stewart's.
Much.
Yeah.
You'd probably fit 15 Stewarts in there.
I guess.
And then something to mention to it is it's not like a company that was making baby formula. You're talking a company that was there for decades.
Right.
208
now
years.
you're looking at centuries. I mean,
Really?
but now you're looking at something
208
that possible environmental contaminants,
and that's
infrastructure.
All, your points are valid and great points. That's all in the works of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And they have the Turin Management is the company that purchased it. They're a developer. They're an investment group. And I think their main focus is a data center style type industry to bring in for
woman
the anchor
owned,
tenant.
right? Is that correct?
I'm sorry.
It's woman owned.
It's a woman-owned business.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep. Kristen O'Neill and Trish and Donal. There's 3 or 4 of them that we work with constantly. And it's a definite project, but it's not going to be an overnight project.
Okay.
I mean, we're looking
right
now. We're still looking at 2029, 2030.
Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. Remington wasn't built in a day.
No,
it took a long time to get to the point where it was such a large.
And that's some of the things that the constituents and the general public, they don't see this stuff every day.
Yeah.
We all know that government does not work fast. Okay, so even I can push and the board can push all of the higher entities, the state and the federal levels. We can push as hard as we want. They're going to move on their schedule.
It was a couple of times ago we had you on, and you made some news when you said that the fire department would not respond to a fire if the building.
Correct.
Does that still stand?
Yeah. I mean, they'll respond to a fire. They just won't enter.
They cannot enter the building.
Enter the building. No,
and that is because of firefighter safety?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's too many unknowns now. I mean, they've taken machines out of there. We don't know where there's holes in the floors. And things like that. And it's the same for the police department. They're not going to go running around through there chasing someone that might have gained access to that facility.
People probably don't remember, but there was a time when you drove through Ilion and you would pass, let's say you're coming from Mohawk, you would pass Sesh's Flowers.
Yep.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And you would go right in between
the two factories.
At Remington. The
Main Street went right down through the
right
facility.
down through the facility. Then years later, they shut that off, and then the main drag went around the parking
renewal.
lot like it is today. That urban renewal, pretty
How
wild.
long ago was that? When you would drive through?
When I was a kid, it was
urban renewal started in '72. So from 72 to 75 is probably when it changed. And
wow.
Yeah, you know, brand new mall in Ilion and the whole, I mean, it was all part of the, but it did, urban renewal really destroyed the look of a lot of village
downtown villages. Yeah, we don't really have a
city
downtown anymore.
Right.
We have an area.
Yeah.
There's nobody builds 4 or 5 story brick buildings anymore.
Anything new you want to work on if you're elected?
Nothing new to speak of. We just need to continue the positive progress we're making. We definitely want to get, like I said, the Remington thing is daily. People are worried about the Dufold complex. That's under a purchase agreement. Again, to my comment about waiting for the developers, the LaHinch Group, we speak with them on a regular basis. They've applied for funding. They want to get that into what's called a brownfield opportunity area. Okay, there's money out there.
That's where funding is.
Yes, and they're waiting. They're waiting for that application to be approved or denied. We're fingers crossed it's approved, and then they will move forward with the closing on the property, and then they'll move forward with their plan. This is all stuff that is, it's discussed in our meetings.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know there's, the couple of candidates that are out there, they're preaching transparency. I don't know how much more transparent we can get. I had a lady tell me the other day when I was out walking for signatures Monday night, the only thing you could do is put out a billboard.
Yeah.
She says, you tell us when there's a water main break, good, bad, or indifferent. Now, by putting that stuff out there, that certainly creates an issue on the other side of things that allows people to complain about everything under the sun. But you know what? That's what myself, Carrie Allen, the trustee deputy mayor, she's running for re-election. And we have a newcomer. I'm not going to steal his thunder, so
Okay.
I'll let him make I'll let him make his own announcement. But that's what we work on, and we know that by telling the people, it keeps them informed, but it also opens the door for others to complain. Well, here's another water main break, or well, here's another pothole. Or
would you agree to right now? It looks like you have 2 opponents as of right now.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're going through the same petition, the signature process.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the newest announced candidate. I don't know what his. I don't know.
Well, we don't know
platform.
yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
But would you be open to a debate if
Anytime.
Okay.
Any time of day, any time of night, any day of the week.
3 a.m?
Absolutely. I'm not sleeping anyways.
It's the early edition.
3 in the morning. Let's do
The
it.
early edition. Yeah, I don't sleep anyway.
I like
so
it.
Doesn't matter.
Question here. Please ask him if he has a primary, and will he drop out if he loses the primary?
Absolutely not. No. It would be a Republican primary.
Do you have a primary?
Don't know. It all depends on if petitions are
It
turned
looks
in.
like it looks like you have someone
It looks
who
like there will
intends
be.
to primary.
Yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely. No, I won't drop out. No, I'll file.
Boy, when would that
line.
primary be? Your election?
It would be April 20.
Okay, because the election
8th, I believe,
is village elections.
June 16th
are in June. So
Correct.
you'd have to have a primary before the primary.
I believe it's April.
That is coming up.
Right.
Okay,
April.
So that's not far off.
April. No.
So that's all about signatures right now. If you can get the signatures, get on the ballot.
Correct.
That's so. You will not drop out if you were to lose there.
Not the primary, no.
Okay.
What's the primary before the primary?
Your state primaries, all of that will be held in June. Your congressional primary will be held in June. So, but village elections are in June.
Well,
Therefore,
you're kind of confusing that a little bit, Bill.
Okay.
A primary is to see if you're going to be on the ballot.
Well, we know that.
Yeah.
I'm not confusing it.
June,
what I'm trying
June
to say
is not a primary. June is the general election.
No, listen to me.
Okay.
What I'm saying is there's a primary in June.
For above village.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
And that's his question.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
your primary that's going to happen in April, you have to have an earlier primary
Correct.
because your general election is in June.
Yes.
Village. This is why this has gotten so
Need a scorecard.
confusing in New York State. They've really made a mess of this. Even you were confused, and we were right.
It's
and
not
what he showed,
confusing.
by the way,
you just need to read. You read
Yeah.
through this.
Educate
It gives you
yourself.
every single date, what you got to have, how you got to do it.
And I don't know if they were trying to save money, but it almost seems like this is going to cost money. The other problem with this, where they're trying to do this when the elections are during the big
midterms,
during midterms and during presidential elections. You get lost in the shuffle of all.
And everybody above village level to the towns and higher,
they're all
they all
advertising.
have to run again because of that new even odd whatever the governor put in place. So they're all running on a shorter term.
And
this time.
I think the governor's looking at it because they feel that that Democrat vote will get out.
Maybe.
Because they're going to be out for the national elections. So really ridiculous, but nonetheless. So you're in it.
I'm in it.
To win it.
To win it.
And that's it.
Yeah. Anybody ever has any questions, feel free to contact me.
Okay.
My email is out there. The office phone number is out there. But again, you can't dispute our numbers.
Yeah.
Our constitutional tax limits come down from 93 to 56%. That's 38% drop in a little over 3 years. Our fund balance has increased from $2 million to $3.5 million. Our bond rating has gone up, which means we can finance, or we have the ability to get financing better. And
so you feel you're in good standing?
Oh, we're in very good standing.
Mayor, we appreciate it.
Thank
we will do it again. We'll look for that. The debate might come earlier if you do have a primary. So
Whenever. I
anytime,
anytime, anywhere. I'll stand there all day long.
We'll make it work. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, coming up next hour, lots to get to. We'll talk to Andrea Heath. Utica Zoo, there's some news there. Tom Wires has done something really cool down in the village of Mohawk. We'll get to that coming up in a second. And Ryan Nobles from NBC, all coming up at WIBX.
It's hard to know what to do when you lose a loved one. You need someone you can trust to help you navigate all the options. Mohawk Valley Monuments has been providing comfort and delivering quality memorials in our community for over 95 years. Mohawk Valley Monuments has experience with all the local cemeteries, from simple grave markings to intricate family mausoleums. For personalized service, call us today at 315-724-7629 or visit us at mohawkvalleymonuments.com.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
They're urged to leave the Middle East, but many Americans can't. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's quite difficult, actually, to find real information. The State Department has been helpful. They've been providing alerts.
No, that's Louise Hurley, stuck in Dubai. And just before she went on Fox,
I found out that our flight tonight has also been canceled. So we're, kind of back to square one. Not sure when we're going to be getting out.
This as Iran keeps targeting U.S. facilities in the region. And a short time ago on state TV, Iran's Revolutionary Guard threatened the complete destruction of the region's military and economic infrastructure. Iran and Hezbollah have just launched more rockets and missiles into Israel. And then
Turkey's Ministry of Defense says that an Iranian ballistic missile was launched toward their country
and it was shot down by NATO air defense systems.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
This comes as the Israelis are going after more of those launching positions inside of Iran. Strikes against the Iranian capital of Tehran.
Now, that we'll get an update from War Secretary Pete Hegseth any minute now from the Pentagon. The U.S. has hit nearly 2,000 targets in Iran so far. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, tells Fox Business this remains the goal.
Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. They can't have the ballistic missiles to hold the entire region
But
hostage.
Democrats, unsatisfied with briefings, are considering a war powers resolution this week in Congress, trying to limit U.S. action.
Donald Trump has unconstitutionally and illegally chosen to launch a war.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. A congressman's been voted out in Texas. Dan Crenshaw's re-election bid ends with a primary loss to a Republican challenger in the race for a Texas Senate seat.
James Tallarico defeated Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in that hotly contested primary. We don't know yet what Republican Tallarico is going to face. The Republican race there is going to come down to a runoff in May between Senator John Cornyn and State Attorney General Ken Paxton.
That's Doug Luzader. America's listening to Fox News.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
We mentioned Texas. There were also primaries in two other states. In Arkansas, Senator Tom Cotton won easily and found out his Democratic challenger, Hallie Schaffner. Another Senate seat's up for grabs in North Carolina.
The expected Republican and Democratic winners in North Carolina won and avoided runoffs in this open Senate seat. Incumbent Republican Tom Tillis has opted not to run again. Former RNC Chair Michael Whatley, endorsed by President Trump, thanked his supporters last night and criticized the Democratic primary winner, former Governor Roy Cooper.
You know, for 8 years, Roy Cooper had a choice: stand with law-abiding families or give in to the radical left. And for 8 years, Roy Cooper sided with the radical left.
Cooper said Whatley
is an out-of-touch D.C. insider and big oil lobbyist who's only looking out for himself and his well-connected friends in Washington.
Democrats need to flip 4 seats in November to win a Senate majority. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
There's an empty cell on Florida's death row. Billy Kearse was executed last night for murdering a police officer in Fort Pierce in 1991. His last words were an apology to Danny Parrish's family, saying there's no way he can ever repay that, and then Kearse was silenced by a lethal injection. A man in the U.S. illegally is now in prison.
Federal prosecutors say Jose Melgar Rivas was stopped by ICE officers in Oklahoma City last July. Agents say Melgar Rivas refused commands to exit his vehicle, and there was a struggle. Melgar Rivas drove away, and in the process, an officer got caught in a car door, and he was dragged down the road. The agent was eventually able to free himself, but was seriously injured. Melgar Rivas was arrested hours later.
That's Fox's Tom Rigotti. He pleaded guilty, will get 6.5 years in prison, and then he'll be deported. On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed as gas prices rise up another 9 cents this morning, putting AAA's national average for regular at $3.19 per gallon. That is up 20 cents in just 2 days. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 32 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. A man who killed a 6-year-old girl inside of her bedroom in Sherrill in 2011 is now behind bars facing charges of attempted murder. Now, David Treblecock was found not responsible by reason of mental disease or defect in the stabbing death of that 6-year-old girl more than a decade ago, but officials now say that he kicked, punched, and stomped a woman's face and head at a Capital District Psychiatric Center where he is a patient. That woman is a patient there as well. She's identified as a 55-year-old woman who suffered severe injuries and is now in critical condition. Treblecock is currently being held in the Albany County Jail and facing new charges of attempted murder. Oneida County's longest-serving comptroller has passed. Joe Timpano was 71 years old. He spent 25 years as the comptroller of Oneida County, first being appointed in 1998, then elected in 1999. When he retired in 2023, he received the Legacy Award for Public Service. Timpano is survived by his wife Jill and 4 brothers. Syracuse University announcing who will serve as the next chancellor in school history, the 13th. Following a nationwide search, current Vice Chancellor Michael Haney was chosen to fill the position. Haney is an Air Force veteran who has worked for SU for the past 2 decades. He takes over for Kent Severud, who is leaving to become president of Michigan University. Haney says he hopes to be accessible and connected to the campus university. And the up and down weather temps may be leading to some illnesses. New data showing the spread of the flu continues to hold steady across central New York. Oneida County had 97 positive flu tests for the week ending February 21st. Experts say it's never too late to get a flu shot. If you have not received one yet, you can find a list of clinics going on near you at vaccines.gov. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is coming up on 8:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
We'll continue with spotty precip coming to an end here this morning. Still could be some slick spots as most of us are hovering in the low to mid 30s and some areas of fog around. Other than that, the clouds a good way to actually some sunshine today, 43. Some clouds tonight, mid 20s, colder north country. And some rain tomorrow afternoon, 43, and a chance of rain through early Friday, 45 Friday's high. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
Right now, 32 degrees, mostly cloudy skies at 8:08. All right, in sports, some big NFL news and moves happening as the deadline was yesterday to put a franchise or transition tag on a player. The Arizona Cardinals, though, opted for neither. They're letting Kyler Murray go, their quarterback. They intend to release him on the first day of the league year next Wednesday unless a trade happens before then. He's owed almost $37 million by the team this year. The Giants are shaking things up on defense. The G-men releasing starting linebacker Bobby Okereke after 3 seasons with the team. That move will free up $9 million in salary cap space. The free agent negotiating window will open on Monday. The Jets bringing back running back Breece Hall. He received the non-exclusive version of the franchise tag. It'll be just over $14 million. Now, he can still negotiate with other teams and sign an offer sheet, but the Jets would receive 2 first-round picks as compensation if they decline to match that offer. Also, the Cincinnati Bengals releasing Trey Hendrickson. He posted a goodbye message to the Bengals fans on Tuesday after the team declined to use the franchise tag on the defensive end. He would have made nearly $30 million if Cincy had put the tag on him. And the Indianapolis Colts put the transition tag on Daniel Jones. The tag guarantees the Colts the first right of refusal if another team steps in to offer Jones a better contract. NBA action last night. The Knicks beat the Raptors 111-95. Jalen Brunson had 26 points and a team-high 10 assists. The Nets blown out by the Heat 124-98. Brooklyn now on a 9-game losing streak. They visit the Heat for a rematch coming up tomorrow. Syracuse basketball drops to 15-15. They lost to Louisville 77-62 last night. Syracuse will wrap up the regular season on Saturday when they take on Pittsburgh. The Utica Comets skating to a 4-1 victory at the Adirondack Bank Center as they took down Lehigh Valley.
5 in a row.
Awesome for the Comets. And the Utica Pioneers getting ready for a big showdown on Saturday night, 7 o'clock. And we're giving away tickets this week here, courtesy of Shipwright. And the Comets will be home taking on Geneseo. The top 2 teams in the conference play for a conference title and an automatic ticket to the Frozen Four National Tournament.
That's going to be a really good game because Geneseo beat the Pioneers 2 previous games in the last month.
Yes, they have 5-3 in Utica, and then in Geneseo, I think 5-4 or 4-3 in overtime. So,
and then later this hour, we'll give you a chance to win tickets from Shipwright coming up.
Should be a packed house.
Davey, what? You're wailing, you're flailing. What's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong?
Let's do them now.
You want to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, right. No, I don't know why. Why do you want to do it now? All right, let's do it now.
Well, he's got to do his show.
That's right. That's right. He's got things to do. All right. Hey, you know what we ought to do is give away a pair of tickets to see the Pioneers Saturday night at the Adirondack Bank Center.
That's a good idea. I don't know who came up with it.
It just came to me, the idea.
He's Keeler. He's the idea guy.
So you have a chance at either 2 or 3, a 2-pack or a 3-pack of tickets. And it's just what we have. And it's your call right now. What do you want to do? Like caller 5? 5th caller right now. You get tickets for the big game. And let's load the odd on Saturday night. 315-736-0186. Call right now for tickets. These are great seats. 315-736-0186. We'll announce the winner coming up next to WIBX.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest heart run and walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the treadmill challenge and help fight heart disease.
Crime is already skyrocketing in 2026. You may already own a firearm, but before you face the financial, legal, and emotional weight of pulling the trigger, there's a smarter option. Byrna. That's BYRNA. Byrna makes less lethal launchers that fire tear gas and kinetic rounds designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes, giving you time to escape and call for help without deadly consequences. Their best-selling compact launcher is sleek, slim, and incredibly powerful. About the size of a smartphone, it's ideal for concealed carry, comfortable, discreet, and confidence building. It fires at 400 feet per second with serious stopping power, enough to shut down a threat fast without the legal and moral complexity of lethal force. Byrna is proudly American. Over 85% of components are U.S. sourced, and every launcher is hand-assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. With over 750,000 sold worldwide, Byrna is best in class, and it's legal in all 50 states. No background checks, shipped straight to your door. Visit Byrna.com today and find the right launcher for your family. That's BYRNA.com.
Our Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Representative John Mannion are standing up for radio listeners like us by supporting legislation to keep AM radio in cars. They know the value of local radio in times of emergency. Now it's time for Congress to finish the job and pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Learn more at dependonam.com. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest heart run and walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the treadmill challenge and help fight heart disease.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay. All right, good morning. It's we're beginning a bit of a warm-up. Jeff is really excited about it, as I am as well. We've had a long winter, and it looks like a warm-up to the point where it's not going to be all rain. We're going to get some sunshine, too. Mm-hmm. Saturday looks pretty good for the Heart Run and Walk.
So come on out.
Yes, come on out. I just want to do one thing before we talk about the zoo. And good morning, Andrea. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice and tight on that microphone.
Good morning.
So I have my mother turned me on to this thing yesterday. So whenever we go to and it could be an antique shop you go to, Angelo's new Handshake Antiques in New Hartford, or maybe like Salvation Army. You look around, you see all of these people walking around with their phones, and they're taking pictures of items. And then they're looking at their phone. And I'm like, well, they must be kind of Googling to see what it's worth, but that would take forever. And my mother said, no, it is an app called ANTIQ Snap, Antique Snap. And you can download it. I think it might be like 99 cents a month. But it's really good. You take a picture of the item. It brings up the item and tells you what the value of the item is. Really cool. Antique, ANTIQ Snap. So I have this handy-dandy little metal from probably the 1940s sign, IBX sign. And I wonder if I snap it, what'll come up. Should I try?
Yes.
All right. This is Antique Snap. So you take a picture.
Close on that mic, Bill.
Sorry. See what's good for the gooses.
Could be a dangerous morning to be in studio. Andrea.
All right. It says WIBX Radio 95 sign. Now, this one's a tough one because this is a one of a kind.
Right.
It says it's worth $50.
Does it really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It says $50.
So if it's not in studio next week when I come in,
you'll know why.
I probably shouldn't ask why.
Here, you better lock that.
Supplemented my income.
Super glue it or something. I don't know. I think there's a lot of old stuff you could take out of here and it could be worth a lot of money.
What do you think this clock goes for?
Yeah, that is just neon, which makes amazing clocks. And that's worth $1 million in my mind. Okay, Antique, ANTIQ Snap is the name of the app. Downloaded on your phone, and there you go.
So a couple of things on these apps where you can snap things. First of all, I have an app on my phone. I think it's called Collects. It has to do with sports cards. My son, obviously, he's 10 years old, so he's into COLLX is how it's spelled. And
same type of thing.
Yeah, you just snap a picture of the a photo of the sports card, and it'll tell you roughly what its value is. Also, there's one for coins where you can literally take money out of your pocket, you put it down, and obviously a quarter's worth 25 cents. But if it's
maybe it's an old
defect or it's an old one, it'll tell you what that will be worth. And I think one of the ones. Now, that makes sense to me, okay? Like, this, not that we have any Mickey Mantle cards, but a Mickey Mantle card from 1954 is valued at whatever, right? I get that. They have a new app out there, and I should be on this, but I'm not. You can take a plate of food, whether it's homemade food or takeout from a restaurant. You snap a photo of it. It examines the plate, and it'll tell you, okay, well, looks like you got
calories,
chicken Parmesan over here. It's X number of calories. Now, obviously, there's got to be some variance in there because how do they know how you made your sauce? Or
correct, right. It's a guess,
but it's a ballpark
an average.
estimate.
It's an average, yeah.
That lets you know what you're about to eat, how many calories are in it.
By the way, that card app, Pokemon, some of those cards from like the 80s. There was one from the 80s that just sold for over $1 million.
I believe it was $16 million.
It might be, yeah.
$16 million.
By the way, this app that I use, which I really like, was...
You know what I'm sitting here thinking, guys? Get a life.
I know.
Come on.
Well, this is my life.
Put your phone down, walk away.
My life is a non-life
Go outside,
situation.
hear a bird, smell the breeze.
But what's that going to get you? I can't sell that.
I can.
You can.
I was just going to say, I think we have somebody in studio who could probably do that.
By the way, Antique Snap, I took a picture of myself yesterday, hit it, and it said, washed up, DJ, no value.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Washed up, no value.
Take a picture of me. I think it'll come up. The numbers will be red. They will be in the red.
In studio right now is Andrea Heath, Executive Director of the Utica Zoo. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning.
So, boy, we're finally going to start to warm up. There's still probably a lot of snow.
So much.
The banks got to be brutal for you guys.
Yeah, we're grateful. The city actually came in with some rigs and started to scoop up some of the snow and take some of it out, because our maintenance team, which by the way, today is National Maintenance Appreciation Day.
I did not know that.
So our team is going to be the guest of honor today at lunch. We're going to have pizzas, and my husband made his infamous Rice Krispie treats. He's got a trick with those. So all the staff will benefit from that, but we're just grateful for our maintenance team. But yeah, that snow, that big load of snow came Black Friday, and it just never left. And we were starting to run out of room for visitors, which I'm grateful to say, not a lot, but we did have visitors over the winter because we had some new yak.
Mm-hmm.
We have our Hamish, our Highland Scottish cow, who is adorable. So we have all kinds of animals that the lions still stay outside.
Yeah.
So we had visitors, but it's been brutal for us.
So lions are okay with being out in the cold?
So they were born there. So that made a little difference. People laugh at me because I can never know the difference between straw and hay, so I call it straw hay. But we put that out there in the exhibit, and
straw doesn't have the chaff that you would sprinkle on a lawn where you get grass seed, basically grass seed. Straw would have all that removed. And
I just decided there were a lot of things I wanted to remember about animals. So I'm going to remember those details, and I'm just going to call it straw hay.
Straw hay.
But so anyways,
there's an old baseball player, by the way, Johnny Straw Hay.
Yeah, that's true too.
That card's worth a lot of money.
But so the Lions. In fact, Mayor Galimi just put a picture on his personal Facebook page the other day that he was skiing and he took a snap of the Lions, and I had to comment, where else can you
that's
Utica,
cool.
you can ski down the hill,
and
see lions, which is just phenomenal. They are getting a little older. I didn't know it. I started there in 2011, and my first day of work, I didn't know there was a baby lion in the holding area. I learned it a couple days later. So that's when Donovan was born, 2011, and then Cokie and Murphy were born the next year. So they are getting a little older, but they're out there. They're out there just being amazing.
In the cold.
Being amazing. Yeah.
What's the lifespan for?
So they're definitely, at the middle age, just above middle age point, and our veterinarian knows it because we take great care of them. So we're constantly checking things. Believe it or not, we check their teeth, and we're checking things for them. They're eating more, especially in the winter. All the animals eat more in the winter, so our utility costs, our food costs, everything is just more. Our team works a lot harder in the winter, because it's brutal work, and they do it out of a passion for these animals. So everybody, maintenance keepers.
Before you know it, though, we're going to be warmed up, and the snow will be gone.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And it is going to warm up in the next week. You may see 70 this week.
Yeah, and we have some great things going on in March. In fact, we have so many things going on that I can't keep up with it. And people we have a new marketing manager. She is doing a fantastic job with our social media. You mentioned the Pokemon cards. We do this Pokemon Go Day a few times a year because there's like this community day sponsored by Pokemon, and we have, I don't know what were they called? Cafeterias or gyms. We have things at the zoo that people can then pick up on their phone, so they can come into the zoo, and we do these conservation messaging cards about animals and with Pokemon. There's always something going on. May 20th, we're doing a big Ready Set Spring. Because the kids are out of school. It's celebrating the end of Ramadan that day, so there's no school. It's a Friday. Hopefully that 70-degree day you just talked about is happening. Yeah. So we're going to have a food truck and a coffee truck, and we're going to have a great day and really kick off. Go to the zoo.
Okay, and you could go today.
You can come today. It's going to be 40, and it smells great. It's really all the senses, even if you bring something to drink or eat with you. Our concession stand will open up the weekend of Easter, and it'll be open
through the season.
Through the season. So,
all right. Anything else you want people to know?
it's unique to have in the city the size of Utica an accredited, AZA accredited zoo.
It really is.
We have a baby gibbon, which is an ape, not a monkey. We did not know he was going to be born. He was born on December 17th. Adorable. The Carbone family, Anessa, just gave us a naming gift, so I'll tell you his name. It's R2, A-R-T-O-O, to go with Yoda and Snowflake and Dooku.
That's really cool.
Dooku's his 3-year-old brother, so Dooku's a big brother. It's going to be, it has to be warm enough for that to open because he doesn't have any fur. He's starting to get a little, but he'll get cold. So new animals coming and a big announcement pretty soon about a whole new exhibit that's going to be a game changer for our 4-season capacity for people to be able to go inside and see some things.
Okay, very cool.
That's awesome. And something you said, you didn't know?
No, we didn't know Snowflake. She's 38. Yoda's 40. She's on record as one of the oldest gibbons to be having babies. We've actually put her on birth control because she just had Dooku 3 years ago. And Yoda and Snowflake are a companion pair, and so we don't want her to have any more babies. But, I heard at 4 o'clock on December 17th, it was a Wednesday, all keeper staff, primate building, please, we have a baby. And there was a cute little boy.
I had a cousin who actually didn't know she was pregnant and just popped it right out. And we put her on birth control, too. It was, sorry, it can happen.
I knew I shouldn't have.
Well, I'm just saying. But the birth control thing is very interesting.
It is. It's an implant, And there are, we don't breed just to have babies. They're cute, yes, but that's not the purpose. The purpose of breeding in our accredited zoo.
But this was so natural. This you didn't even know was happening.
Well, and our breeding is to help. Our breeding is to help the conservation of, and the species of these animals so that they don't go extinct. And there are many zoos that have great stories of helping animals to come back from, the decline, including our zoo. We've been part of some scientific projects where we're helping with artificial insemination and sperm donation, et cetera.
So you're not running a gibbon mill, is what you're saying.
We are not, and we will not.
I'm sorry
one
for
of the
that
biggest
comment.
programs with AZA is SSPs, which are
species survival programs.
Species survival
we have a
program.
number of species that are in the species survival program. It's a whole science.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a love of animals and the outdoors, and just a great place to get exercise and enjoy everything that nature has to offer. But it's a science too.
That is so. There are groups out there that believe no animal should be held in captivity. That, believe me, we hear from PETA every once in a while. But I don't think those people don't understand the love of these animals and the importance
the preservation
in the world that we are in today, where a lot of their habitat is being destroyed.
And not only that, some of the animals that we have were rescued, and a rehabber and a veterinarian determined they cannot go back on their own, like our eagles. Yeah. There's a number of animals. And then some of the animals actually were born under human care as part of these programs. And some of the animals were rescued. I don't have time today, probably, because you're going to give me the look. But sometime maybe I could tell you about our spider monkeys, our Mexican spider monkeys, who were confiscated. I'm going to tell you right now. Confiscated at the border in Brownsville, Texas, brought over from the border more than in the 90s. They've only lived with us because they were infants. They wouldn't know how to live in the wild. And here's the thing. This sad problem is still happening today, where that kind of criminal activity of trying to steal baby primates to sell in the illegal trade market. So we are Manuel and Negra's home because they never would have been able to make it in the wild. They were orphaned. And that's what some people don't understand.
Yes. Because without a place like this,
they would have died. And now they thrive. In fact, they were outside yesterday, which I was walking with a visitor and I said, this is the coolest thing. On one side, you're looking at red pandas who love this weather because it's Himalayan conditions. And then on the other side, I'm looking at Mexican spider monkeys who just
South
love
American
to be
primates.
outside.
They're just like the people in the South that are like, oh my God, it snowed. Let's get outside.
Yeah, they lived there since the 90s and they love to be outside. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
Come to the zoo.
Come to the zoo. Every day of the year almost.
Except for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have much more to talk about the next time you're on, because before you know it, we're going to be doing wine in the wilderness.
And our Thursday nights where we have live music. We're open until 8. Oh, and we have beer, wine, and seltzer every day now. We have a license
really cool.
to do that when the concession stand's open. So lots to talk about.
Good stuff. Thank you as always. Quick break coming up. Something really nice done in Mohawk for veterans and to as Andrea says, preserving history. It's exactly what this next guest has done in the village of Mohawk. We'll explain next to WIBX.
Veterans, you and your family know all too well the many hardships that challenge your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. The Good News Foundation invites you to a free fellowship group of veterans. This get-together is run by retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 4 Richard Smith, the author of Camouflage Christian. Check out Veterans for Worship the third Wednesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
If you're like most Americans nearing retirement with money in a 401k or IRA, then listen. The U.S. Supreme Court's recent ruling on President Trump's tariffs has added fresh uncertainty to global trade policy, and investors don't like uncertainty. That ruling helped push gold to another multi-week high as traders sought safety in precious metals. When markets get nervous, precious metals often move higher, and fast. Right now, the gold and silver markets may be offering investors a second chance at history. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit. You'll also receive a free copy of Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Many Americans are rolling over a portion of their retirement into physical gold and silver, tax and penalty-free with Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now. Get into position before the next surge. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, I'm going to ask you with a couple of comments
Yeah,
here
so
this morning.
Lance is busy this morning.
Lance and Lee.
On the race for the Ilion mayor, Lance says his race reminds me a lot of the Izzo-Lanigan election. A lot of local voices seem to want change. Even in his party, there seems to be chatter. And then he said Ilion's water issue equals Rome's garbage issue, which I don't think I agree with that. The Rome garbage issue was more of a pop-up thing that was a bit of a change, I guess, and people in Rome were not happy with it, where this Ilion issue with the water's gone on for over a decade.
There were people that wanted Jackie to fire the garbage company, and she felt that was going to push the city into a lawsuit, and it would ultimately be bad. But the public looked at it that nothing was being done, and it's probably one of those key issues that really hurt her in that race. I'm not sure the water is the same thing, though. I agree with you.
And then he says, I'm surprised you guys haven't brought up the Jacqueline Medico Utica Fire Department issues that are going on. WKTV and the Sentinel have both had stories on it.
All right. So he said, well, in the beginning, we didn't know who said it. We knew it was a council person. And the comment that he made was...
Well, there was a discussion with the fire chief there, Scott, I can't think, Ingersoll, and he was talking about wanting the I don't want to call it hazard gear, so turnout gear that they wear. I guess this is a common thing, not specific to Utica, but the turnout gear is known to have a chemical in it that escapes me, but it's called a forever chemical.
I'm going to bring in Tom because I know you're a volunteer firefighter.
No, I'm not.
You're not a volunteer firefighter. You've never been?
No.
Stay over there, then.
Okay.
My apologies.
I'll stay quiet.
Just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
I always thought you were down in Mohawk, but all right.
So it has this forever chemical in it.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so the chief was talking
to
about...
the point where if you remember in Poland, we got into this a little bit because you're not even supposed to store your uniform in your car because of the toxins that are there to protect you. but also the toxins you may get while you fight a fire.
Yeah, they're carcinogens.
So there are all sorts of rules around this that they have found through modern research that can come back and cause harm by way usually of cancer with firefighters.
So I was familiar with the comment. I got this bit of information from a Rome Sentinel article that essentially Ingersoll was saying, we typically get 5 years of use out of this. This other product that does not have the forever chemical in it and the carcinogen is about a 3-year, depending on use, depending on how active you are.
Yeah.
It's about a 3-year turnaround that you want to look to replace it. And that in answering asking some questions, Councilman Jack LaModico said, well, isn't that why you guys get hazard pay? And obviously that went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
Because essentially you have a city representative who's saying,
you're paid extra because we know you're going to get cancer.
Yeah, so
oh boy.
You know what you got into here, and we've already covered that because we compensate you for that.
Yeah,
now, those are my words. That's how I took it, but he's taken certainly some heat for that comment, and I believe he has apologized, and I think he's going to publicly apologize tonight.
I'm hearing tonight it'll be addressed tonight.
One more from Lance. You are wrong, Jeff. The garbage issue in Rome lasted for many years. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I think it went on for a while, and it just got to the point where people wanted they wanted a change, and it became a really big issue for that race. But that's history now. Right?
Yes.
Now Utica has that company. And what are we hearing out of Utica? Same problems. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Cordelia in Rome. Good morning, Cordelia. You're on the radio.
Well, I got two issues then.
Okay.
Let's get to the garbage issue.
Okay.
The thing with the garbage issue that company did not have enough trucks.
Yes.
And they used to come with maybe get in the morning and take one barrel.
Right. They wouldn't do the recyclables at the same time. They wouldn't do them both at the same time.
They would do them at 7 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't fair to us because we want to bring our barrels in.
Yeah, everybody's. And then they would leave the tops open so they would know what was hit and which streets were serviced. And then if it rained or snowed, the barrels were being filled with.
That's right. I had a hell of a time to try to empty them out at the curb to try to pull the thing in.
And just to show you, I mean, for Cordelia to use the word hell, I got to tell you, she's not happy. Mm-hmm. Right.
So then, now we got Bliss, and they're terrific. They got the trucks. They come, they take it, everything goes
all
at
done.
once.
Okay.
Okay, now my other thing that I actually called in for, on TV this morning, they had some kind of idiot that's the head of the missions for the bombing over there.
Mm-hmm. That'd be Pete Hegseth, I believe.
Yeah, and he had
I think
a
you
map
described him
up there.
correctly.
He had a map up there showing where they bombed already, and then he was starting to tell the plans for where they're going to go next. Now, if they had a spy over here, he's on the phone already.
Well, I got to tell you, he was just scolding a reporter yesterday, talking about how, what, you think I'm going to tell you what we're going to do? I'm going to tell the media what we're going to do, so our enemies can. So today
apparently
he's
the
doing
answer
it.
is yes.
Yeah. He's. Well, let's just say he is the least qualified person in that position in a very long time.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad because we're not getting our money's worth there.
No, I do worry about that. All right, we'll see what happens. Be careful, though, Cordelia. They'll be yelling at you. I say things like this, I get yelled at every day. Lance and Lee will be calling you.
I'll get yelled at, but,
Cordelia from The View. Cordelia from The View, they'll be calling you, yeah. All right, Cordelia. Not you, though. You're wonderful, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right, thanks so much. In studio right now is Tom Wires. Tom is a
former volunteer firefighter.
He's a former volunteer firefighter.
And a garbage truck driver.
He drove. Now, unfortunately, because of the hazards,
multitasking,
the hazards that occur while he was fighting fires, he doesn't remember being a firefighter. So we'll just play along.
It happens when you leave the Legion to go to a fire.
That's the problem. And when they say $1 what for that, you just want another one.
Right.
That's just what happens. Okay, you just recently did something really, really amazing.
Well, I want to thank you for bringing me in on a Doll News Week.
Because there's nothing going on.
And second,
in fact, I have Ryan Nobles on the line right now. So
second, I want to announce that I'm running for. Oh, just joking.
Okay. You were a private detective, former police officer.
Right. Police
get that part right. You were a private detective, and you worked on some pretty big cases.
Yes.
Including Caitlin Connolly case.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, I was in the service.
And you were in the military.
Yeah.
All right.
So I did regular Army 4 years.
Next time, bring a stinking resume, would you? For God's sakes, make life easier. So.
Well, I'm here to announce that I'm a member. I'm a 38 member of the Mohawk Legion and Post 25, the Fighting 25th. And I was approached by, you probably know Aaron Alford, Alfie, and he's in charge of the finance down there. And he knew that I do renovation work on the side, for friends and stuff. And he asked me to remodel this, what they call the shoemaker room, which is when you walk in the front door, it's the room on the left.
Yeah.
It was been closed for a long time, locked up. And so Alfie and I went in there and got all the junk that was in there, and we made 2 loads of 5x8 trailer loads up to the dump.
Wow.
And then we did a third one with all the electronics, because basically when the TV went or fax machine or
just
whatever.
Sat there.
Yeah. So it's like your parents. Remember your parents had the big TV and then it broke down and they put another TV
on top of it.
Yeah. It was the same concept. They were just building it right
That's so funny.
Matter of fact, the guy at the dump yelled at us. He goes, "Next time you call us,
let us know you're bringing this stuff."
Yeah. I go, "Don't worry. It's not going to be a next time."
Yeah.
So.
So you basically went in and refurbished, and there are pictures on the wall that have been brought back, stuff you got from the Weller Library.
There was it's called the Shoemaker Room because the family furnished it. He got killed in action in North Africa campaign of World War II.
Okay.
And so I believe they put a fireplace in there, and that was bricked up. So I took that out and I put an electric fireplace in there and framed it in.
Nice.
And then they wanted initially to make it an artifact room, but we didn't know where we're going to get the items.
Right.
So luckily, my daughter Caitlin, she's on the Weller Library Commission, and she's also on the Mohawk Rec Commission. So she says, "Hey,
they had a lot
talk
of stuff
to the historian,
there.
the village historian, which is upstairs in the second floor, which people don't have access. You can't go up there publicly. So we went up and we talked to the historian. It was Michelle Barron. She used to be maiden name was Heller.
Yep.
And she said, "I'd love to have you guys display this, for the public. So
That's
anybody
awesome.
can come in and look at the items." So far we got 2 display cases of Civil War items, World War I items.
Wow, that's awesome.
World War II, some World War II stuff.
And this was all you did was all volunteer.
Yes.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Legion, paid for the material.
Yeah.
I did the floor and painted the room. And
one would say if you paid what they pay for at another bar for a drink you pay for at the American Legion, you probably could raise a lot of money and pay for the whole project.
Yeah. Well,
the
reason I'm here is I noticed that at the history part of Weller Library, the artifacts that they have up there, they have cards, explaining where it came from.
Yeah.
And usually it's from a family of an estate says we donated, this World War I item, and there's really nothing beyond World War I. So I like to get members or village residents to come forward if they have artifacts of World War II. Maybe a parent or a grandfather that
they can donate.
That can donate, or Korean War, Vietnam War, and so we can display it.
That would be awesome.
We want to get more display cases.
How do they reach out if somebody?
Well, you can reach out to me,
Okay.
or call the Mohawk Legion.
All right.
So my number is 315-867-3310.
All right. So really nothing after those early wars we need to catch up.
And believe it or not, I was just thinking the other day, I go, 50 years from now, though, an artifact will be like a keyboard and a computer screen, and it'll say Sergeant So-So launched 100 missiles
at Iran. All right, great stuff. Thank you for doing what you're doing down there. Okay. That American Legion is a great community. We talk about the bar, but it's a great community facility.
It's one of the first ones in the New York State around 1919.
It is. Wow. And then, of course, Weller Library is so historic. So, all right, Tom, thank you so much. Yep. Nice job. We'll bring in Ryan Nobles from NBC, who was up late last night. Thank you, Tom. Up late last night you've gone from being the guy out on location to the guy at the desk all of a sudden. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm running on fumes this morning, Bill.
Yeah.
But the start of what I think is going to be an interesting stretch of primary elections last night in Texas and North Carolina, and really setting the stage for this midterm election going forward for sure.
All right, your thoughts on well, there's so much to talk about. Let's start with what you were covering last night, and that is, it is quite interesting. There's no doubt President Trump still has a strong hold on the Republican Party in terms of whether or not he's endorsing a candidate or supporting a candidate. I'm not sure it has exactly the same pull that it used to have, but it's still very influential.
Well, I think there's two races I want to point you to specifically. Well, three. The first is the Senate primary in Texas, where President Trump chose not to make an endorsement. As a result, there's a lot of disarray there. We don't know what the future looks like. We are going to a runoff with John Cornyn, the incumbent, and Ken Paxton, the attorney general. The fact that Trump chose to stay out of that race made it uncertain, and it's going to make it uncertain for Republicans going forward. And then there were two House races in Texas that I also think were pretty interesting. One was Dan Crenshaw's race. Dan Crenshaw was the only Texas Republican incumbent that was up for re-election that Donald Trump chose not to endorse. And he ended up getting creamed last night as a result of that. And it wasn't just the Trump factor, but also the redistricting push, which kind of messed with the district that Crenshaw had originally represented. But Crenshaw, his career in politics is basically over. And then the other race is the Tony Gonzalez race, which I don't know how much you want to get into the huge scandal that he's embroiled in.
It's brutal.
With a staffer.
Yeah.
She ended up taking her own life. Now, Trump endorsed Gonzalez before all the news of the scandal came out, refused to take away that endorsement. And now Gonzalez has made it to a runoff, despite the fact that he has a very MAGA challenger. And you'd have to think the fact that Trump at least stuck with him. He wasn't necessarily, enthusiastically sticking with him, but the fact that Trump didn't abandon him is probably what got him to the runoff. So Trump still, his shadow looms large over these Republican primaries. And I think the big question everyone in Washington has this morning is, will he now get involved in this Senate primary that it's moved to a runoff? And will he back John Cornyn? Because the Senate Republicans feel much more comfortable with John Cornyn as their nominee than they do Ken Paxton going into that general election.
And then the other issue I think the Republicans really wanted on the Democratic side for the progressive to win in that one key race, as opposed to the more conservative Democrat who's a minister and really seems to be, has certainly the eye of Joe Rogan right now.
Yeah, so James Tallarico, his win last night, I think, was exactly what Democrats were hoping for. I do think there is a lot of support for Jasmine Crockett, the firebrand Democratic opponent in that race, but I do think the general election feeling was that Tallarico had a better shot in a state like Texas. He has cut a very kind of moderate, inclusive message that isn't really so much about Democrats versus Republicans. It's more about the upper class versus the middle and lower class.
Going after billionaires.
Topic that you and I have talked a lot about. And I do think that there's a lot that Democrats can take away from last night to feel good about. And I think the number one statistic that stood out to me was that in Texas, which is a Republican state, you had two competitive primaries on both the Republican and Democratic side. So it's a pretty even assessment. and more Democrats came out and voted yesterday than did Republicans in what is a red state. That has got to give Democrats faint hope that they could win back Texas, which is something they haven't done in a very, very long time, and it's been very elusive for them. They've been claiming they could turn it blue for a long time and have been unable to do so.
I'm going to ask.
I was just going to say, since we're talking about Texas, there was another primary there. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's for the Chip Roy seat.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead. It's the former Yankee, Mark Teixeira.
Yeah, yep. Mark Teixeira won easily there.
Little pronunciation problem there. I don't know if you saw that story. The president had a tough time pronouncing his name.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes.
My good friend, who I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
It's my good friend. Very good friends. Long time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Or as John Sterling would say, you're on the mark, Teixeira.
Yeah. We don't know where
Teixeira is a longtime Republican. I don't think many people knew that. He was a big supporter of Mitt Romney's campaign when Romney ran for president. So he's for a long time had interest in politics. There was some question about just how Texas he actually was. He kind of moved to the state. And even though his name has Texas in it, he doesn't really have a deep connection to Texas, but he raised a lot of money, he has a lot of money of his own, and will probably cruise to victory and become the next congressman. And I know there are a lot of members of the congressional Republican baseball team that are very excited to have a former major leaguer join their ring.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Leading off, his name is Mark Teixeira. We're good friends.
Okay, I wanted to ask you this, and I stayed with you as long as I could last night, watching the debate back and forth. And who was the guest? McCarthy was
Kevin McCarthy,
and that was very interesting to get his take on everything. But let's just talk about the obviously what's going on in Iran. I saw a very interesting interview where someone said this whole thing that this is going on as a wag the tail, wag the dog, whatever that is, to take attention off Epstein is just ridiculous. It's not a valid argument because if you read Project 2025, we were going after Iran. That was part of the plan. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about this, Bill, about how the president made a pledge to his supporters on a wide range of topics, and then has seemed to have broken away from that. And what I found interesting over the past 3 or 4 days is the way that MAGA Republicans are twisting themselves in knots to suggest that this is somehow not the kind of foreign intervention that Donald Trump has railed against basically his entire political career. He's been against every war, which, history has proven right in many of the cases. I think it's part of the reason that he became a powerful political force, because when everybody in the Republican Party was saying we need to go in and police all these countries, Donald Trump was saying, actually, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
And so, the idea that now a foreign intervention with an uncertain future in a volatile region is somehow America first, when it hasn't been America first up until Donald Trump decided it was America first, I think is a little head scratching. And I think the place to watch where the dissension is happening here is within the conservative influencer sphere. And there's a guy named Matt Walsh who is as loyal a Donald Trump soldier as there is on the internet, who has just, is kind of apoplectic about this idea that somehow intervention in Iran is a good idea. Tucker Carlson thinks it's a bad idea. Megyn Kelly thinks it's a bad idea. These are all people that Donald Trump has been able to count on for pretty loyal support. And I think that they might be the type of people that maybe have a better pulse of where the MAGA voter is on this issue. And as we've always talked about on your show, Bill, Donald Trump will always have 35% of the vote. And right now, that's about where his approval rating is, about 35 or 36% of the vote. The idea that somehow this type of action is going to rally people to the polls in favor of Republicans, I think is an open question right now. And maybe if they're able to wrap things all up in a tidy bow and there's some sort of a friendly new regime that takes place and that opens up oil exports, I don't know how you get that all done by November. But if we take a look at historic practices, any sort of Middle East intervention, look at Afghanistan, look at Iraq, the list goes on and on. It's never ended cleanly and in a short period of time. But that's what the president is promising here. And if he can't make good on that promise, Republicans could pay the price in November.
Boy, and it has, when you really look through history, the word never is very predominant. It has not happened. Whether it's us or Russia or anybody else, it's always.
As a result,
yeah.
And I think as a result of that, Bill, obviously 9/11 was a different window of time. There was a lot of rallying around the flag after 9/11, but even if you look back to George W. Bush's intervention in Iraq, there was this kind of sense that, the way that America had kind of abandoned the troops in Vietnam because of how unpopular that war was, that we should make that mistake again. And when push comes to shove, we trust our leaders and we trust our military. I think that the federal government has really eroded that trust, and there's far less of a sense among the average American that this sort of military intervention is worth the cost. I mean, we've dealt with 25 plus years of the fallout from Iraq and Afghanistan and the decisions that were made in the wake of 9/11. So this idea that everybody's just going to fall in line and say, well, we support our troops, so this is okay. I think you can support your troops. You can support the people that are out there following orders. But the policy decisions connected to this, there's far less tolerance for this. And if things start to go wrong, which they have every possibility of going, I think voters will respond accordingly.
I'm going to make the god awful Hitler comparison. And don't, before you get mad and start screaming at the radio, it's a fair comparison. And that is his miscalculation that bombing London for days and weeks and months was going to destroy their resolve as a country willing to stand up for their homeland. And if you think that was a miscalculation, Middle East is that, and it's tenfold. Because
and look at Russia and Ukraine. I mean, would you use that as an example as well?
Yeah. I mean, this is the possible miscalculation is that we're going to be able to bomb the daylights out of them, and they're going to wave the white flag. Boy, that has never happened in the Middle East.
And Iran is much different than Afghanistan. That is actually a functional society with a military, and they have tacit support from China and Russia. They have resources available at their disposal. They don't need to necessarily cower to the United States and Israel. Now, the fact that all those other Arabian, Muslim, predominantly Islam states have kind of taken the side of the United States and Israel in this, which is a bit of a surprise, and the president deserves some credit for rallying that. But man, if these bombs keep falling in places like UAE and Dubai and Saudi Arabia, how long that region is going to tolerate that, I think, is an open question.
Ryan, we'll do it again. We'll be watching. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Get some sleep, Ryan Nobles. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is now accepting new patients. They've added Dr. Cheryl Mattern from Sequoia. She is now a part of the Falcon Clinic, along with Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Kuzminski, the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
WIBX Utica Road, W295
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
An update from the Pentagon. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We can sustain this fight easily for as long as we need to.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth on day 5 of the operation against Iran.
As President Trump said, more and larger waves are coming.